immediate switch to the game audio, which is really loud on my ears. Hello, hello, good evening, everyone. How you doing? Hope you're good. I need to actually sit up straight in my chair, Jesus Christ. You know what's not a good thing to do when you already like press start stream and like have your music, your pre-run music running? That sounds stupid. Go on TikTok. Going on TikTok, that's a very stupid idea because you will maybe actually miss the start of your own stream or when you're supposed to be starting the stream because like, just one more funny video. Just one more funny video. I'm not talking from experience here at all. No, that would never happen to me. Anyway, I hope you're all good. We are back with Highway Blossoms, which I don't think we'll be able to finish today. I think it's a little too long for that, but we should get some more stuff done in here. Hopefully we'll find a little more treasure this time around. Hope you all had a nice weekend so far. Thank you for the short everything. I think it's like an endless void of one more video, right? I keep telling myself, okay, I'll stop once I reach like some kind of ad, because like either an ad or one of those like content pushed. No, that sounds stupid. Well, an ad, and then it's like, oh well, one more won't hurt, and then I just keep repeating that. It's like, oh, one more ad, then I reach the next ad, and I'm like, nah. That was a stupid ad. Let's do one more until we get a cool ad. We don't get cool ads on TikTok. It's all the same stuff. But here we are. Let me actually tap into the game. That sounds like a great idea. And let me... I keep forgetting. You know, I usually don't capture the cursor. It's just because of Disco Elysium that I have the cursor in there. So I keep forgetting to turn it back off. Anyway. We're gonna tab right in. Let's see. What did we do last time? We didn't find the second treasure. It was already gone. So now we're back in the car. After meeting that, for some reason, very progressive woman who thought we sneaked off to get frisky. We're going on a road trip, yes. That we are doing. We're going on a road trip. Inside the RV once again, I crash down into the driver's seat and kick my feet up on the dash. It's a relief to sit on something soft. Like a satellite, Marina hovers around me, expectant.
So that was a failure, obviously.
A little.
Do you think it might be in a different part of the canyon?
Maybe, but we're not gonna find out. We could spend days out here and not find anything.
I do wonder, though, the people who voiced them, I wonder if those are like actual, like, I don't know, professional voice actors, or if the indie team that made this team was like, hey, we need people voicing this, and they just voice it themselves. That would be fun.
Most likely, someone else found it before us. Maybe even before this whole
treasure hunt
thing started.
I should look into that. She stares at the ground and perks back up.
That's okay though. All we can do is move on.
Yeah. Because Marina's voice really reminds me of... I know it's not the same voice, but her way of speaking reminds me of Anne from Persona 5. I don't know why. Reaching into the glove compartment, she brings out a journal and hands it to me.
Come on, show me why the human travel guide is the best.
I look at her for a moment and with a smile gently take it from her.
Sure thing. But that's the first and only time you're ever gonna call me that, okay?
Alright.
Okay.
Okay. I flipped through the journal and skimmed the pages. I skipped one of the entries last time because it looked like a jumbled puzzle, but if we're going to find the rest of the treasure, then we need to tackle this head-on. Bracing myself for the confusion, I find the entry and groan. I write to you today, not from my dear Lamis... Oh wait, how did he say his name? Lamisi? Winged landmark, but from a destination on an unforeseen detour. During my journey eastbound, I encountered a split within a dusted road. I've encountered many of these on my travels, but this one triggered a thought that maybe, perhaps, I've been too obvious with my hiding. Let us assume a jealous peer wanted to attract me. Paranoia or not, if they so desired, they easily could. My steed's prints are set within the sand, and I have not disguised my livelihood. In fact, one might call these a trail. If one were to follow this trail, they may even happen upon my bounty. It's new once again on Twitch. What are they gonna do? It's a mystery. Today, we're hoping for some treasure. That's what we're doing today. The likelihood of this is very slim. However, I've always considered myself to be a man who only takes calculated risks. The risk I took was calculated. But man, am I bad at math. Which is why I'm shocked in that this thought has never crossed my mind before. Surely, an intelligent, rugged, and worldly individual such as myself would have come to this conclusion by now. Or perhaps I'm none of those things. Nonetheless, I marked the split and took the path I felt was less traveled. After I'd covered enough distance, I found a satisfactory location. You're building a pirate ship! Ooh! That sounds fun. Acres of identical arched stone were spread across this area. The more I traveled, the more there were. On occasion I had seen some, but never so close together nor so plentiful. Though I do worry one could narrow down the gold if they had the will. Alas, the remnants of my illness reappeared, forcing me to find a resting site. Eventually, I settled between two stones, unlike the arched stone. I often feared they would fall or collapse on me, but the balance seemed steady and they provided shade and scenery. So once again, I'm rested and determined. While this detour took precious time away from me, I very much feel it was worth the security it provides, even if it was unnecessary. P.S. This morning I looked in my pouch. It would appear as if I have enough gold for one last burial. Burial? Lamessy's landmark seems more than proper for this.
Oh no.
Oh no. Does that mean you don't know where it's at?
The opposite. I know exactly where it's at.
Oh.
Then what's the problem?
It's a pain to get to. I lean back in a chair and look at the ceiling.
It's in Arches National Park.
Oh yes! You guys remember the vine that's like, oh no! Oh no! And then some guy comes in through the, like, breaking through the wall. Oh yes! I love that one.
Cool. Then let's go.
I ignore her and keep looking at the ceiling.
Arches has over 2,000 natural stone arches. The miner said he hid it between two stones.
Out of 2,000? Ooh, that's... She blinks. I sigh.
An arch is a rock formation that curves in the air. Think of it as an upside down...
That's what you meant! I love that one. Finally, she gets the message. Her face morphs into a blank canvas and she stares out the windshield.
Oh no.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh
If
yes.
we find this thing, then we need to look between every single arch and arches.
Woo! After a moment of petrified silence, Marina takes back the journal and returns it to its proper place in the glove compartment. With a shaky smile, Marina looks back at me and tries blowing it off.
Arches National Park, huh? It's somewhere in Moab, right? You ever been?
No. With a shaky grin of my own, I respond, totally ignoring the impossible feat ahead of us.
Yeah, I went to Moab a long time ago. Arches is really famous. Like, world famous.
I've never heard of it before. We're both sweating, staring at the long road ahead as we try our best to make casual conversation. It's like a game of chicken. Who's going to break first? A game of gay chicken?
I've always wanted to go.
I'm just saying.
Where have you vacationed to before?
Honestly, nowhere. Not out of the state, at least.
For real? Not even to visit family?
Not everyone has family out of state.
Nuh-uh. My grandparents live in New Mexico, too. I think only my big brother has been outside of the state.
You got any other siblings? Or is it just you two?
She shakes her head.
There's 9 of us.
9?
2 younger brothers, 3 older brothers, an older sister, and 2 little sisters.
What? I whistle.
Damn, that's a big-ass Christmas card.
Right? At some point it's just like, aren't you ever gonna stop?
It's professional voice actors. Some smaller ones, but also some more lots of roles. Oh, nice. That is a big
I'm
family.
almost out of fingers to count on.
Chuckling, I stand up and walk to the back. Marina follows behind me.
What about you? Do you have any siblings?
No.
Nah, just me. Otherwise, they'd probably be riding around this old thing with us.
As I say that, I collapsed down onto my bed, sprawling out. Sitting up front felt good, but this is heavenly. The bed sinks a little as she takes a seat on its edge.
Can't really imagine having a single brother or sister. Definitely not.
Yeah, for sure. That's a lot of people.
But I guess they don't all live at home.
Actually,
They do?
You're kidding.
only one of my brothers has moved out. It's the worst. Like, you have to make a reservation to take a shower.
No wonder you ran away.
Pretty much. As soon as I finished school, I was just like, okay, time to get out of here.
Okay, yeah, that's understandable.
How long ago was that?
Like, last year.
Just a couple months.
Oh, okay, never mind.
2-ish.
What'd you major in?
Huh?
Like, what'd you get your degree in?
Oh, not college. High school. I just finished high school.
Huh.
Huh? Using my elbows, I prop myself up.
What?
How old are you?
17. Putting her hands on her hips, Marina puffs out her cheeks and looks offended.
I'll have you know, it's very rude to ask a lady her age.
She deflates.
But I'm 18.
Okay, 18.
Why?
Oh, thank God.
I let myself fall back again.
I was afraid you were
FBI, open up!
and that I'd get arrested for kidnapping or something.
We're good.
No way! And besides, I told you my parents were fine with it. Well,
For now.
I was afraid you were gonna be underage and that I'd get arrested
Why is it
for
the same
kidnapping.
thing again?
hey, and what about you?
Okay.
How old are you?
23.
Just a year older.
Never mind.
Wait, you're only 19?
Now it's her turn to be shocked.
How old did you think I was?
I don't know, something early 20s? Marina busts up laughing. I'm actually a little bit embarrassed. I look away, blowing my hair away from my face.
Just kidding, just kidding. I figured you were like my age or a bit
She
older.
ages in reverse.
2 years at the
No.
most.
I don't look at her, staring at the wall.
Oh, come on, don't be mad. I was just playing.
Imagine though, like you grow up your whole life and then you hit, I don't know, 90, like a natural age of where you could die. And then when you're on your deathbed, you just start aging backwards. It's like you don't get reborn as a kid, but you start aging backwards. You go from 90 to 80 to 70 until you're a very, very small child again. And then once you hit like toddler age, you grow up again. Wouldn't that be fucked up? All of a sudden, she sounds seriously regretful. I want to mess with her, but the puppy dog look she gives me over her shoulder is too hard to resist.
Sorry, what? My hearing must be getting bad at my old age.
She throws a pillow at me from the bed beside her and I deflect it with my arm.
Good save, Granny.
What a weird form of new immortality, right? Now she leans back too, staring up at the ceiling. Her hair spreads across my leg. I don't move it. Then I realize that all the worry and nervousness we had about Arches is gone. Somewhere along the line we just forgot about it. Huh. I don't know when we reached a point in our relationship where we can be comfortable being this close to each other, but I'm glad that we have. Maybe, just maybe, I'm enjoying the closeness a little too much. It's been a long time since I've dated someone. Graham's health made having a girlfriend impossible. There wasn't time for anyone else. Hell, I hardly had the time for myself. Not that I cared, I do it all over again. Still, it's nice. Having someone to talk to so it's not just me and my thoughts. Just as I'm about to settle into the mood, she sits up and stretches.
Oh, I'm pretty sleepy.
No!
Are you going to bed soon?
Fuck you! Why would you die?
Nah, I took a nap earlier, so I'm good. It's only a few hours to Moab.
It's
so
only
I'll
a few
drive us there
hours.
tonight.
Ugh.
Moab, huh?
Well, yeah. Something wrong?
No, I was just kind of wondering.
She trails off.
Wondering...
How far away is the Grand Canyon?
You really want to see that, don't you?
From here? I don't know, 3 or 4 hours? But it's in the total opposite direction that we're going.
Oh, okay.
Crestfallen look on her face should be illegal.
Sorry, I should have looked at the map before I asked.
If everyone were in a loop of growing old and getting young again, you'd always have to ask which cycle they're in, down or up. Yeah. Oh no. Imagine meeting someone like you're going down in age and they're currently going up. Like you're currently both, I don't know, 35, but the other person is growing up and you're going down. You're like, ah, honey, you got a big storm coming. Smiling, she turns and heads for bed, disappointment clinging to her like perfume.
Night, Amber.
Night. Leaning against my pillows, I watch as she slowly trots off to the back. Come on now, I'm not that heartless.
Wait a sec.
She freezes mid-step.
I guess since I was gonna drive all night anyway, we can make a detour.
Ooh.
A pretty big detour too. So don't blame me if all the treasure is gone.
Maybe there's some treasure in the Grand Canyon as well. Who knows? You haven't checked all of the entries. It could also be that, we're lucky that for some reason all of the entries, the way we check them, seem to be right after each other, but... She turns around, hope springing in her face now.
But I guess it's like a requirement that you see the Grand Canyon when you're sightseeing in Arizona. So that's what we'll do. You've got a lot of vacations to make up for.
All of the tiredness and disappointment vanishes in an instant. Like a bird taking flight, she hurries back over to where I'm just standing up. A trademark Marina crash tackle hug knocks me into my butt in bed again. I pat her on the back a couple times before she rises.
Have I ever told you you're the best?
No, but say it again.
Probably. But don't you forget it.
I couldn't if I tried.
Goof.
I poke her in the belly as I make my way up to the front again.
Grab me an energy drink from the fridge, will ya?
You have energy drinks in your fridge? When she sits down in the passenger seat, she has 2 cans of the energy drink.
You were going to bed.
No way! I'm too excited now.
Oh.
I'll keep you company on the drive. Plus, it's only like 8 o'clock, isn't it?
Beats me. Sounds right.
Well, it's 7 here. I pop open the tap on my drink and take a long draught. It tastes awful, but it wakes me up like nothing else. I guess the makers cut out sweetness and nice flavors for more stimulants. To drink it faster, I hold my breath to hide the taste and chug. Gasping, I crumple the empty can and toss it into a trash bag. Marina, on the other hand, sips it daintily, wincing each time.
Ugh, people seriously drink this stuff?
Yeah.
Somehow. It works, though. It's pretty much the strongest stuff you can get without a prescription.
Oh my god. After taking another sip, Marina retches and sticks her tongue out. She reminds me of a cat with fur stuck on its tongue. She sets the can in the cup holder beside me.
Do you want mine? I can't drink this.
I'd have a heart attack if I drank too. Just leave it and I'll drink it tomorrow.
Guess the only way to improve an awful energy drink is to let it get warm and flat. Oh my god. She yawned one time and now I can't stop. Passing out a second-hand kiss. Oh yeah, you're right. As I start the OV, Marina says something, but it's soft enough that I can't hear her over the engine revving.
What was that? Old lady hearing failing on me again.
Smiling, she shakes her head.
I was just saying thanks again.
Don't thank me yet. I could fall asleep at the wheel and kill us both.
Don't say that!
At least I die happy.
Bruh.
No, though. Not just that. For taking me with you.
They what second-hand kiss it is. Yeah! Oops. Oh, how did I get here? That's not where I wanted.
You must be super tired. You're saying all sorts of weird stuff now.
I mean it. I know it's kind of random.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just really happy I met you.
Yeah. After a moment of blushing, I laugh a little under my breath.
Yeah, me too.
I prevent any more cheesy conversation by carefully pulling out of the parking lot and back onto the exit road. I'm definitely glad that Marina's enjoying herself. I'm having fun too, but talking about that sort of thing, it makes me feel all squirmy inside. Like I don't match up to what Marina thinks of me. Pushing those thoughts out of my head, I focus on the road. We have to keep our eyes peeled for animals out here. There are lots of stray dogs in this part of the state, and dozens of deer and antelope just waiting to race cars. The road's devoid of other vehicles though, and since I know the exits to take, more or less, we should make pretty good time. Once we get back onto the highway, Marina hoists a bucket of tapes onto her lap.
What do you want to listen to?
I glance between the road and the bin, scanning both. I settle on an album that I haven't had the heart to listen to in a while, but it feels like tonight is the right time. I fish out the tape and slide it into the player. As the first chords start up, I watch Marina's face for a reaction. It won't have the same sentimental value to her, I know, but it's an emotional album in general. Lots of dynamics to the music and simple but heartfelt songwriting. Gramps used to try to play along, but said he couldn't quite capture the feeling himself. I said hope Marina's quiet, which means that she's listening. Her cheek is pressed against the window again. Her reflection, barely visible, looks wistful. Good. For the second time today, a growing pressure starts in my eyes. I pawed them, and the motion catches Marina's attention.
You sure you're not too tired?
Oh yeah, eyes are just a little itchy.
Damn it. My voice shakes as I speak, but if she notices, she doesn't say anything. This album was another one of Gramps' favorites, and there's a reason I haven't listened to it since he passed. Turning it on might have been a mistake. We may yet go off the road if I end up crying, or I might just die of embarrassment. I sniffle a couple times to keep myself under control.
Damn allergies.
I don't even know if she hears me. I'm kind of tempted to turn it off and play something else, but I want Marina to hear it. It won't mean anything special to her, I'm sure. I want to see what she thinks, to see if maybe Gramps and I were crazy, or if there was more to the music and the man playing it. He was a guitarist and songwriter who just went by the name of June. Died a few years ago. Fighting back the nostalgia and the bubbling feelings of how much I miss Gramps is hard. I'm able to hold on though and keep from breaking down. 45 minutes later, when the tape ends, Marina hits the play button again to start it over. I'd say it was worth it. I let it play on for hours, long after Marina's fallen asleep beside me. Aw, okay. I do not generally like driving in the middle of the night, like when it's dark. But it's nice when you're on a road and there's no one else there and it's completely empty and you can just go at whatever speed you want. That's nice. My everything ages. It takes me a long lazy minute to remember why I'm sitting up, forehead plastered to the steering wheel rather than in my bed. I drove all through the night to get us to the Grand Canyon, arriving at the South Rim right around the time that I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. We're in a campsite apparently, but I don't remember anything past reaching the park's edge and paying the entry fee. I probably shouldn't have been driving, but we made it here alright. A sour taste pervades my mouth, courtesy of the empty energy drink at my side. I groan as I climb up and had to go brush my teeth. When I exit the bathroom, Marina's waiting at the front, all dressed and ready to go.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm still too sleepy to match her enthusiasm. Undeterred, she comes forward and presses a mug into my hands.
I made you some coffee. But it was a couple of hours ago, so it's kind of cold now.
Good job.
Thanks.
No, don't... It's also brewed too weak, but I don't tell her that. I drain my cup in seconds and then pour myself another. That's also finished in a few long gulps.
You really like coffee, huh?
No, she just needs it to wake up.
I guess. I think I'm just addicted.
You don't even put any cream or sugar in it, right?
Thank you for the pet.
Nope. I always drink it black.
Woo. She wrinkles her nose in disgust.
I can't stand the taste.
I noticed. Have you gone and looked around yet?
There are dozens if not hundreds of people milling around, and that's just what I can see from here. Most likely treasure hunters.
Look around. Without you?
I have a feeling that's not the last time. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, we
It's
reached
what,
800 pets.
Noon?
Nice.
Almost, but I didn't want to leave without you.
That's sweet of her.
What if I got lost? You're like my map.
Maybe not.
Besides, it's boring to go look around by myself.
You think? I used to do it lots before we met up. It was nice to be alone and think.
Her face falls. Seconds later, I realize my mistake and mentally kick myself.
Not to say I don't like having you around. I just meant it's not so bad being on your own for a little bit.
She ponders for a moment.
Well, I don't like being alone.
A small frown makes me think she's upset, but then it melts away and is replaced with her trademark smile. Something about how the sunlight frames her face right then makes my heart skip a beat. I want to admire her for longer, but I think my face gives it away. Soon she shifts, asking with her eyes.
Something wrong?
I shake my head to clear it.
Nah, sorry. Just zoned out for a second. Let me finish this coffee, and then we can go.
Okay. I don't know how you can be up and at 'em just like that. Usually it takes me hours to wake up.
That's a mood.
I know. I do a lot of waiting for you.
Marina stumps over to play hit me on the shoulder.
Meanie, I do my best for you.
Yeah. There aren't enough hours in the day for you to sleep as much as you want.
That's true. There could be double the hours in a day, and I could be sleeping for, I don't know, 20 hours and I'd still be tired.
What? Are you saying I don't need my beauty sleep?
She's just kidding, but I freeze. She is joking, right?
Amber?
The jaunty tone in her voice is
Yeah.
gone. I croak at a response.
Zone out again?
Something like that.
Even I'm surprised by how off guard that caught me. It was just a simple joke, but it was a little too relevant seconds after thinking of how pretty she looks. I need to stop being so weird sometimes so that that'll scare her off more than her finding out that I might just maybe could possibly have a crush on her.
Maybe you just need more coffee.
Uh-oh.
Probably.
Her grin gets huge.
You need as much coffee as I do sleep. See? We're even.
I laugh as I pour myself a third cup, tilting the pot to get the dregs.
Maybe you're right.
She prances back to the front door, nose held in the air like she's won some great victory. I catch her peeking back to see if I'm watching, so I make a big show of rolling my eyes. She sticks her tongue out in return. When I set my cup down in the sink, Marina throws the door open and waits for me to step out. For having been mostly asleep and in the dark, it looks like I did an okay job parking. By which I mean that we're actually in one of the designated camping spaces. That's more than I can say for a lot of the others here. Tents cover nearly every patch of land that doesn't have an RV on it. Some even come right up against the road itself, causing the few cars that pass by to have to hog the edge. Just like back in Shiprock, this is a fiasco. Squads of little kids rampage around, squirting each other and everyone else with water guns and just being in the way. One little Brian runs up to us and holds up his squirt gun like he's going to shoot me, but the death glare that I give sends him running back in the other direction.
Not a fan of kids?
Not the rotten ones.
Ooh. Marina, on the other hand, waves at the retreating boy and giggles as a weak burst of water hits her.
I don't know how you can stand it.
Well, I mean, she has enough smaller siblings, no?
They're just
But yeah, having tents
kids.
hanging on the edge of the road is ballsy.
Besides, I'm pretty used to it.
Big family, right?
Yep.
We start to walk in the direction of the canyon itself, pausing sometimes to let cars or tour groups pass us
This
by.
is such a mess. Wonder how many of them are treasure hunters.
Well, it's the Grand Canyon, so a lot of people are probably just regular tourists, right?
Yeah, probably. I feel bad for them. And all the other people who just want to enjoy these parks.
You really hate people, huh?
Nah.
What? Where'd that come from?
I don't know. You're just always complaining about there being too many people around.
Because there always are too many people around. Do I really complain that much? Thinking about it, I guess I do.
I don't hate people. I just don't like when it's all chaotic like this.
They're already done it, hit a honk, you realize it's headlights. BAM! Oh no! But yeah, imagine being on a road in the middle of the night, you're already sleepy, right? And then you see something at the corner of the street, or you might not see something corner of the street, and like you hit the tent or some part of it, and then you have an accident on your hands. Great.
So you don't like crowds then?
Who does?
That's closer, yeah.
Kinda weird that you're so hyped for this music thing then, don't you think? Isn't that gonna be the biggest crowd yet?
Sure, but that's different.
Why?
Because I go there expecting it to have a bunch of people there, and it's a bunch of people I can share the same thing with, the music. It's a different thing if I go to really quickly get, like, I don't know, go grocery shopping and there's a giant mass of people there, which is unusual for the time that I usually go grocery shopping, because I like to try and go when it's not as busy.
I don't know. Just is.
Okay, never mind.
Why?
What are you, 5? No wonder you get along with kids so well.
We both laugh.
But I guess it's just because everyone is there for the same thing.
So what I said.
You have something in common with them.
Isn't everyone here for the same thing?
Yeah, but...
I struggle to find an explanation, but she laughs it off and shrugs.
I'm just kidding anyway. You can't be the only one who teases. You don't like big crowds, and that's fine.
What about you?
I think it's fun.
Yeah.
And besides, you get to meet all sorts of cool people. Who knows? Maybe you'll meet a special someone or a long-lost relative or something.
Special someone, huh?
Maybe. Would be pretty unlikely, though.
Probably. But it's still fun to think about. And speaking of odds, Amber...
Marina points at another cluster of motorhomes down the road. I follow her gaze, immediately understanding. Taking up 2 spaces because of size and back parking is a familiar titan of an RV.
God, no.
But Marina's already heading towards it. My nemesis, Maria's motorhome. Mariah's, I'm sorry. The door flies open seconds before Marina reaches it. Outstalls Joseph, Tess close behind.
You call that a break? You've had boyfriends that last longer.
Sis has never had a boyfriend.
What?
My point exactly.
What you're moaning? You two just need more work ether.
You mean ethics, but you've probably never
What kind
heard
of
the
conversation did we walk in on? Mariah appears in the doorway, leaning on a shovel. I can see her about to retort, but then she spots either me or Marina, and her glare is replaced with a smug grin.
Well, well, well. Look who finally caught up.
Hey guys!
word. Oh, hey there, ladies.
I sigh and speed up my glacial pace. May as well get this over with. Mariah picks up a crate of tools from beside her and carries them out before shoving the crate into Joseph's hands. His knees buckle at the weight and she sets it on the ground.
Did you follow our dust all the way here?
I wish we'd seen it so we could have stayed away.
No!
Maybe you should go now and get a head start on the next piece before we find the one here.
She clutches her shovel like a sword and points it at me.
Unless you're gonna fight us for this one too.
I raise my hands in
We
surrender.
already had one bust at Canyon du Chat. This one's all yours to screw up.
The shovel drops a couple inches, either as a response or because her arm's getting sore.
Canyon du Chat? But there's only one Grand Canyon.
There's more than one canyon in the world, Mayor.
Ah!
Figured it was there at the Mummy Cave ruins, but we didn't find anything. So if you want to search all 2,000 miles of the Grand Canyon, then good luck.
Fuck yeah.
Damn it!
Mariah throws down her hands and the tool bag slips from her, plummeting onto Joseph's foot. Hard. The crates in his hand are the next to fall, this time onto the other foot. Oh! The boxes burst open, flooding the ground with heavy hammers and wrenches. A gasp escapes his mouth, then silence.
Are you gonna get drunk and cry yourself to sleep again, sis?
Somehow, through pained grunts, Joseph manages to speak.
The limit is once per week.
Mariah's eyes twitch. In one smooth motion, she whirls around and clonks her companion's heads, huffs, and crosses her arms. Joseph reacts like any normal human being and rubs his head to soothe his never-ending pain. Tess hardly acknowledges it, wobbling back and forth like a human bobblehead. I don't think I ever get over how creepy that girl is. She's not creepy! I've seen way worse kids. She clonks Joseph again for good measure. Marina and I both wince. I imagine this is how it was for Howard when he first met Linda.
At least we'd get to see the canyon that way.
Jesus!
Oh. From out of nowhere, Tess pops up at my side.
Tess has been wanting to go out and see the sights, but Mariah's too busy breaking her back for that.
Big sisters are bossy, huh?
Tess nods, which prompts Marina to stop down and hug her apathetic kindred spirit.
Not alone!
Marina looks up at me, eyes big.
Can we keep her? She's so cute!
I don't think we can do that.
That's property theft!
Sorry.
Property?
Only one stay at a time.
What?
Aww.
Marina releases Tess and reaches out a hand as they float apart.
Anyway, let's get going. If they're gonna waste all day here, we can at least leave them to it.
But Mariah waves her shovel in Joseph's face.
Pick up our crap. We gotta rethink our strategy.
Crap?
Yes. This crap.
She taps the crate that she forced on him just minutes ago. Joseph covers Tess' ears and mutters something that I can't make out.
Wait, I have an idea.
Full pairs of eyes turn to look at her.
Me and Amber were about to go sightseeing. Why don't you guys come with us?
I don't think that's gonna end well.
That's a terrible idea.
Yep.
Hey, we agree on something.
But Tess eyes Spock with determination, nodding as she reaches up to tug on Mariah's suit.
That's one vote yes.
She turns to me, pleading look in her eyes, hoping to make it 2 yes votes.
I think that sounds like a good time too.
3!
It'd be a nice break.
I forbid it. You've already had a break. We have too much to focus on. Getting distracted by dusty old rocks is the last thing we need.
But the dusty old rocks might have treasure in them.
You always say that, but look at her.
He points to Tess, her face shining with interest since the word sightseeing.
You always say that, but look at... When did she last show interest in something? Hell, has she ever shown interest in something?
We're still not going.
An irritable groan rumbles through Joseph's throat, but he still looks as casual and relaxed as he usually does.
Look, we're not always going to do what you want just because you say so. We're going.
Ooh.
And if we have to, we'll force you to come along.
Marina laughs awkwardly.
It's fine. You guys don't have to come if you don't want to.
But it's too late for that. Mariah lets out a single disingenuous ha and marches to Joseph.
You're gonna force me to go, huh?
That's right.
She stares him down, or up to be accurate. The top of her hat only reaches up to his chin. Regardless, she gives him a nasty grin and repeatedly pokes his chest for daring to defy her. This doesn't seem to faze him though, as his lips curl into an ominous smile.
And how exactly do you plan to do that?
Uh-oh. Vast and majestic, the canyon dominates the horizon. As far as my eyes can see, calico rocks are given a murky tint by the dying sunlight. It's a breathtaking view. I just stare out over the abyss, watching as the sun slowly climbs down the sky.
What are you even looking at?
She says it flatly, not like a question. Mariah's been this way for hours now, since Joseph practically dragged her out of the RV. While the other 3 have amused themselves with disposable cameras and curiosity, Mariah's tailed me like a mangy dog. She won't let me forget about her relentless apathy, punctuating it with frequent sighs.
I'm looking at the cliffs. And considering sending you to get a closer look at the bottom.
Jesus.
This is your fault, you know.
What is?
That we're here. Or at least that I'm here.
You were the one who actually drove to the Grand Canyon, though.
Hey, I didn't want you along either. That was all Marina.
Just tell that airhead no sometime. Guessing you've never turned in a request of hers.
I've known her for like 3 days. I shoot her a dirty look at the word airhead. Mariah rolls her eyes. She doesn't care one bit.
She wanted to play with Tess. Someone has to.
Joe does it all the time.
Her ability to miss the point is actually kind of impressive.
Besides, you should see the look I get if I try to stop her from something. Maybe I can't say no.
Be more like me. Mental fortitude and training.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost breaking down when someone threatens to take away the key to your liquor cabinet part of that
Mental fortitude and training.
She clicks her tongue in annoyance and grumbles.
I could have still said no. I was just doing it for Tess.
I turn my attention over to the impromptu photoshoot again. Both the girls climb on the rocks and lean against the railings to take pictures. Joseph trails close behind, probably to make sure nobody slips. Sometimes he's pulled in for a picture too. What are they taking the pictures with though? Marina's taking pictures of just about everything. The sky, the ground, the pouting Mariah. As a photographer, she's not very picky. But what is she taking the pictures with? She doesn't have a phone anymore. Tess, on the other hand, seems to have an actual knack for it. She's taking pictures of scenic valleys and close-up of beautiful desert flowers in full bloom. Desert flowers in full bloom, usually with Joseph as the model. She even managed to get close enough to take one of an eagle perched on a rock. Not hard when you're practically invisible though.
I don't even know why she's so interested in this stuff.
What? The wonder and majesty of naturally formed geographic wonders?
That's a fancy way of saying overgrown rocks.
Text stated they're using disposable camera. Oh, okay. I'm stupid.
Who cares? Shouldn't you be glad that she is?
Why? I'd prefer if she cared about something that matters.
My lack of sleep is finally catching up with me, I think.
Like getting rich?
Exactly. It's Americana this, sightseeing that. What the hell even is Americana? Don't mess with Texas shirts and old rocking chairs that some hicks farted on.
Do you ever listen to yourself talk? Just be happy she's interested in culture and expanding her
Yeah,
horizons.
sightseeing is nice. Especially stuff that was made naturally.
Culture? Our favorite foods are bastardized versions of foreign cuisine. Culture's a sham. When I was her age, I was interested in things that actually mattered. Like treasure.
Okay.
Years later, and nothing's changed.
Since the other girls are taking a break, Joseph has
I
joined
want to take
us.
some pictures with you.
Mariah starts to protest, but Joseph cuts her off.
Your sister wanted me to ask.
Her mouth shuts and she rolls her eyes yet again.
Fine.
She
She stalks over to where they are, kicking up clouds of dust with each heavy step.
Sorry if she's causing you trouble. She can be a bit of a handful.
A bit.
I know it's hard to believe, but there's a good heart in there. Somewhere.
She'd probably sell it for $1 if she could.
Joseph laughs
You
heartily.
might be right. That's just how she is, I guess. Been that way since we were kids.
It's hard to imagine that someone could not only know Mariah as a child, but want to maintain a friendship with her for the rest of their lives. Come to think of it, Joseph's a bit of an odd case compared to the other two. Odd just because he's so normal.
Hey, can I ask you something?
Searching for treasure and found Jack should get alive. Yeah,
Shoot.
kinda.
Do you care about the treasure?
He scratches the stubble on his chin and thinks about it.
Like, you have a good head on your shoulders. Why do you let her drag you around?
Well, it's not that I don't care about the treasure. Being rich doesn't sound like a bad gig at all.
That's fair.
But I wouldn't say I have a good head on my shoulders either. If it came down to treasure hunting or kicking back on a couch all day, I'd pick the couch.
Figures.
His own broad smile returns. I didn't even notice it disappear.
As for them, one of them needs someone to look out for her, and the other is 10.
Now we both laugh.
She's the one who gets me off the couch. I'm the one who gets her to sit down sometimes. Even back in school, she was always picking fights.
Ooh.
Didn't matter if it was another kid or a teacher. Got her ass kicked a couple times. If she were all on her own, she'd tear apart the whole Southwest.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That make sense?
I look over at where the three of them are still taking pictures. Tess is standing on a rock so that she's at the same level as the others. Right now, two of her fingers hold Mariah's mouth into the shape of a smile. On Mariah's other side, Marina holds the camera out and takes a picture. Then Tess takes one, though Marina keeps her hand out of Mariah's mouth.
Yeah. I know what you mean.
Plus, someone's gotta make sure Tess doesn't starve.
Catching us watching, Marina waves vigorously. She nearly knocks Mariah's lights out while she does. I wave back. Tess says something that gets Marina's attention, and after a second, Marina hurries over. I wince as I watch her clumsily climb over the rocks, scared that she's going to slip and hurt herself. But she arrives unharmed.
Tess wanted me to ask if you'd go be in the pictures too, Joe. She says she wants all three of you.
Looks like that's my cue.
With nothing more to say, he drifts over to the others and exchanges spots with Marina. Tess passes him the camera and he holds it up to his eye.
Why are you using this cheap thing anyway? The camera on Mariah's phone is way better.
It's about the experience. It's the same reason why you would use those. I mean, I don't have one, but Polaroid cameras? You know, just because it's fun. He takes the camera from Tess and dangles it from his fingers, observing it like it's an ancient, long-buried artifact.
The memory is full from all her journal entries.
Oh.
Journal?
It's more like angsty poetry.
Oh. Mariah turns towards me, panic and fury in her eyes, but she's too slow.
How did that one go again? Oh yeah. Rivers of amber pour from my bottle like tears, forever sweeping El Dorado beyond my grasp.
My God. Mariah slouches.
I hate you both.
Oh, but we love you, Mariah.
Tess clings to her sister's waist like a magnet, showing her affection. It goes ignored.
Now squeeze in. I'm not sure how we're all gonna fit.
We watch for a moment before I tap Marina on the shoulder. That should keep them busy for a while.
Quick! While they're distracted!
What?
What are we doing? I grab Marina's hand and dash off, dragging her behind me. Her feet have trouble keeping up, but they don't slow down. I don't look back.
Just keep running!
Amber, where are we going?
Ooh! We wander around for a while until we find another viewpoint that's empty of other people. I'm guessing that a lot of the treasure hunt is out looking now, since the oppressive heat isn't as bad. I lean against the rail, my head propped up on my arms. The cool metal feels nice against my skin. Marina does the same. She sighs wistfully.
So pretty.
Which part?
All of it. Especially the
That
sunset.
does look nice, though. Nearly all the sunlight has been swallowed by the canyon's colossal darkness. Shadows cast by the stones mute the gorgeous colors as the sun melts into the tip of the canyon. It's barren and desolate, but Marina's right. It is pretty.
Oh, let's take a picture before it gets too dark. You're not getting out of this one. You haven't been in any of the pictures today.
Fair.
Yeah, that's on purpose.
Scooch in.
Like, together?
Yes.
Duh.
She slides towards me and I squirm away on instinct.
What's wrong?
Immediately before I can answer, she grins slyly.
Wait a second. You're camera shy, aren't you?
I'm not.
I retort a little too quickly.
Oh?
Clearly, she doesn't believe me.
It's not that I'm afraid of them or anything. I just don't like having my picture taken.
That's a mood. I like taking pictures of other people, but I hate it when other people take pictures of me. Because if I'm the one taking a picture, I can go exactly, like, do it like this, pose like that, or, you know, change the angle of the phone, of the camera. If other people take pictures of me, it's always like, no.
How come?
I shrug.
Just don't.
Well, you'll have to deal with it this time.
She sips over and, before I can react, has pressed her cheek to mine. The shutter clicks and I'm momentarily stunned by the flash. Before I can protest or enjoy the closeness, she's already pulled away and is checking the results.
It's cute, look!
She shoves the camera into my face, but it's so close and the screen is so small that I can't actually see the picture. I just nod.
I can't wait to get these developed.
Turning to me, Marina pauses.
How do you get photos developed anyway?
Oh god.
We'll have to take them to the store and have them do it. Most big supermarkets can.
Okay, first thing tomorrow then.
Sure.
Like a hummingbird, Marina darts forward and gives me a tight hug.
Thanks for coming out here. It's been so amazing. I hope it was worth it.
Sure. I look down at her, pressed against me.
It was.
Marina pulls away to my great disappointment. She opens her mouth like she's going to say something, but then seems to change her mind.
What?
What?
You were about to say something? What was it?
Oh, never mind.
Hey, you can't do that. Now I really want to know.
She giggles, but it's distracted sounding.
Okay, fine. I was just gonna ask, why is it that you hate Mariah and her group so much?
We don't hate them, they're just a little annoying, I guess.
Where'd that come from?
Marina turns away and stares out over the canyon again. It's getting pretty dark. She's quiet for a moment before she talks.
I don't know. You just complain about them a lot.
I don't hate them, dummy. Joe and Tess are fine. It's just Mariah that I have a problem with.
How come?
She's a bitch.
Ooh.
Loud and rude and obnoxious. Ugh, I really hate people like that. She thinks she's always right, too.
Maybe you both are just a little too similar.
Sounds like someone else I know.
Ah, don't give me that.
Uh-huh.
We're nothing alike.
Marina laughs.
Yeah.
Half a minute passes in silence.
You're way cuter than she is.
Ooh. Time stops and so does my heart. Everything feels like it's frozen. I look over at Marina, but she's looking at the canyon, not me. Still, just a couple inches away. I gulp, swallowing the lump foaming in my throat.
You said that before, I think. You're cuter.
Oh, hush. I'm trying to compliment you.
I fall silent for a moment, not sure of how to respond.
You know, back when we first met, I meant what I said about you being cute, too.
Ooh! She giggles again.
I'd forgotten about that.
As if on cue, a light breeze starts up, causing her head to billow out like a cloud. Her side tail, hastily bound, looks as if it might come undone. Finally, she turns to look at me, her eyes wide and lips glistening. My palms are dry and my knees tremble. Gulping yet again, I cross a short distance between us in a half step, leaning in, and... getting cock-blocked.
There you are!
Of course! Someone's about to die. Mariah's shrill voice cuts through the moment, rupturing my eardrums and patience. I pull away and Marina's already turned around to face them. The trio appear like specters out of the darkness.
You left us behind!
We tried to, at least.
You were the ones who dragged us out here. I at least expect you to stick around.
Cowed into submission, Marina's shoulders fall.
Back off. I wanted to go see the sunset without you sighing about it.
Whatever. It was a waste of time either way. Come on, we're going back.
Mariah lopes off down the path at a brisk pace. Marina and Tess are back to photographing anything and everything, though the low light means that pictures won't show up. Joseph and I trail behind it at the end of the party. Are you chicken farmer because you're an expert at cock blocking?
How was the sunset?
Sighing, I pull ahead. Right now, even Joseph seems like a little too much.
It was okay.
The campsite has cleared up a lot since we set out this morning. It's still pretty full, but at least it's not claustrophobic anymore. A few campfires illuminate people that are left behind, plus the smoke keeps the bugs away. All five of us huddle outside my RV. The goodbyes are taking a while since Marina has to hug everyone at least twice. Then she says something to reignite the conversation and the whole process starts over. Finally, I grab the door handle to signal that we are about done. Marina automatically begins the final round of hugs.
So, what's next for you guys?
Maybe not.
Back to poring over the journal to see what we can find. Once we locate
I
it,
hate
it's
that.
straight off to wherever.
I have a few family members that are the same. It's like, we're already done. Everyone has already said goodbye. And then they're standing in the doorway with the open door. And they start yet another topic. And every time I have to be like, please close the door. Like, it's fine if they want to keep talking, but you need to close the door because we have cats, and the cats, if they see the open door, they are gone. They're gonna run out there. And no, you're not quick enough to catch the cat. You can try, but you're not quick enough. You won't be quick enough to catch them. So either you have the conversation outside or inside. Or you just leave. You've been here for 5 hours already. Just leave. Joseph heaves a heavy sigh.
No rest for the weary.
You don't get weary, Slacker. You get motivated.
Oh, you should put that on a shirt.
Would you buy one?
Nobody would.
No.
Then no.
All of us, even Mariah, laugh a little. Finally, Joseph puts his arm around Tess and starts to lead them away.
Get out of your hair for the night.
Starting down the path, they walk towards the motorhome.
Wait a sec.
They freeze. Marina looks at me too, curious.
Next piece is almost definitely at Arches, in Utah.
I hear Marina gasp, but though I don't see it. Joseph and Tess both look to Mariah, the profiles barely visible from the flickering campfires in the distance. Mariah nods stiffly.
Thanks.
It's probably the first time she's ever said that word. With a wave of her hand, she turns and they finally leave. Marina and I both watch until they vanish out of sight. Then Marina squeals.
I'm so proud of you, Amber! And shocked! That was super nice of you.
Well, there's a very low chance of them finding the treasure that's there anyway, if there's like 2,000 stones to search through.
Wasn't much. This one's pretty easy to figure out when you take the time. I'd probably save them half an hour at best.
Still, it's the thought that counts. Why'd you do it, though?
Someone's gotta take care of them after all.
I look away, pretending to scratch an itch on my cheek.
They're not that bad.
Aww. We ended up spending the night in a department store parking lot. There were plenty of rest stops, but those are off the table permanently. Like usual. I read it right the first time, I'm stupid. Like usual, I woke up pretty early and got us on the road again. Even after waking up briefly, Marina passed back out until we are already in Moab. Moab's the quintessential outdoorsy town. It's built alongside the Colorado River, winding through a canyon. Every other store sells rafting supplies or hiking gear or camping equipment. Even some of the houses are made to look like log cabins and other rustic architecture. You can see tall forested mountains from any part of town, but it's not entirely out of the desert either. It's a time of morning where most people are on their way to work. There's a disgustingly large amount of traffic. It's obvious why. Shovels and pickaxes stick out of the truck beds and cracked windows like porcupine quills. At a glance, I'd say 3/4 of the people contributing to a glacial pace are prospectors, which means I don't have any room to complain. Thank you so much for the hydrate time and the pad. After watching the next light change 3 times but still not reaching it myself, I sigh and pull into a nearby diner. At first, I was just planning to grab some coffee and a bagel and something for when Marina wakes up, but with the trademark perfect timing, I hear her climb out of bed right as I turn off the RV.
We there? Is this Arch's?
No, this is a random diner. She stumbles up to the front, still looking mostly asleep. I don't know how she can still be tired. She must have gotten 10 hours.
Close.
That's
We're
the
in
mood,
Moab.
though.
Arches is still a few miles up the road.
Oh. Why'd we stop?
'Cause I'm hungry, and traffic's practically stalled. It could be lunchtime before we get there.
You were just gonna eat without me?
No, I was going to get you food. Even through her grogginess, she sounds shocked and offended.
I was gonna grab you something to go, but I will eat without you if you don't get ready fast.
Meanie.
Yeah. Complain about me once you're dressed.
I can see the start of a smile as she turns back to get ready. I inspect my nails while I wait. A few minutes later, she hops up front like the Easter Bunny, chipper as ever.
It's like your energy is stored in your outfit or something. You get dressed and wake right up.
Marina puts on
I
airs.
don't know what you mean. I'm always cheerful and alert.
Are you now?
Uh-huh. Did you know that you snore?
Her pretense is dropped in a flash.
Do not.
You do.
I lead the way out of the RV.
Loud. Like an elephant seal.
Marina blusters about for a retort while I just wait by the door laughing. Aw. She makes a noise as she passes by me, crossing the parking lot. Still, she holds the door for me as we go into the diner. There's a seat yourself sign up near the front, along with a stack of menus. I grab 2 off the top.
Do you need a kid's menu? With the crayons?
Right. It's not common in America to seat yourself in a restaurant, is it? It's like you need to wait till someone gets you and shows you to a table. I'm just teasing her more, but her face lights up.
Oh, they have those? Yeah, give me one.
Mentally face-palming, I also take a coloring sheet and a cup of crayons. We find a booth by the window near the middle of the restaurant, between a family of 4 and a couple around our age. It might be the only empty spot in the whole place. While I look over the breakfast specials, Marina eagerly begins to color. She's got a dark green, 2 shades of red, a blue, and a yellow crayon. Of course, they're worn down to being practically round on the bottoms, which makes it hard for her to stay inside the lines. It really depends. Most of the time you need to be seated though. Yeah, that's not common here. Here it's usually you go in, you find a table, then someone will come to your table and like ask for your drinks. Like give you the cards, the menus, and then ask for drinks already. And then they will, when they bring your drinks, they will be like, oh, have you decided on what food you want? When I shift my legs, I accidentally bumped the table with my foot and caused her to make a large green streak across the personified egg she was coloring.
Oops, sorry.
It's okay. What is it they say? There are no mistakes in art, just happy accidents?
Something like that. Why green?
Do you not see what I'm coloring here? Sam I Amber?
I groan aloud at her awful joke. I'm saved for more of them by the arrival of the same waitress who greeted us. Her white uniform is stained with jelly and ketchup and who knows what else.
Can I get you girls something to drink?
I'll have some chocolate milk, please.
Oh, chalky milk! I forgot to buy chalky milk when I went grocery shopping yesterday. Her already questionable maturity suffers another blow. With the crayons in her hand, I'm not sure it can stand to take any more hits.
And for you?
Just coffee. No cream or sugar.
You got it.
Once she walks away, I nudge Marina with my foot.
Chocolate milk? Seriously?
Chalky milk is great. Do not disrespect the chalky milk. Mimicking my voice, Marina shakes her shoulders.
Black coffee? Seriously? Are you 40?
Hey now, I like the taste of coffee itself.
And I like the taste of milk itself. Just with chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
You're a dork.
But you love me.
Uh-oh. She chimes back in a sing-song voice. I know what she means, but it still causes a small lump to form in my throat. I swallow, trying to pretend that she didn't hit a little too close to home. I watch her while she goes back to coloring human breakfast hybrids. Her lips are pursed in concentration, and there's a little gleam of white as she bites the edge of one. Seems she's really focused. Surprisingly, she mostly manages to stay inside the lines of the pictures. Rather than trying to use a dull tip, she switched to flat round ads using the edge for more precision. It's kind of working. Without looking up, she starts to chat again.
So, where do we start looking today, Captain?
But you used to mix chocolate into your Coke and that was amazing. Wow. Oh, that sounds wild though.
Oh, you finally acknowledge me as captain then, huh?
I figured you deserve a turn. Just this once.
Thanks. I'll try not to let you down.
Howie Blossoms, you love this weekend so much? Oh. Yeah, it's a lot of fun so far.
Anyway,
How you doing?
idea.
You said you think it's by one of the arches, right?
Yeah, and there's like 2,000.
Well, yeah, but that doesn't really narrow it down.
Pausing her coloring, she looks up at me.
It doesn't?
No.
Nah. Have you ever seen any pictures of the park?
A couple, I guess. I don't know much about it,
Well,
though.
I've never seen any pictures of the park, so explain it to me.
Well, they named the park after the arches since there were so
Ooh.
many of them. Probably hundreds.
Seriously?
Yeah, some are more famous than others. Let's see. There's Windstone Arch and Double Arch. Those are some of the more famous ones. You've probably seen pictures of those, even if you don't know it.
Okay, but we're looking for arches that look like they might collapse any second.
But there are a ton of lesser known ones too. And for all we know, the treasure could be at one of them that doesn't even have a name.
So we're screwed.
Probably. But that doesn't mean we're giving up.
Right, we're already there. Well, we're almost there. We might as well look into it. Marina nods in satisfaction, either at my words or the slice of blue ham she just finished coloring.
Don't want to lose twice in a row. So I figure we'll go and look around and see if there are any clues. Maybe watch what other people are doing and thinking.
Marina nods along, but she has a zoned out look that tells me she's not really listening. Rather, she seems to be staring past me. I turn, trying to figure out what might be attracting her attention. There's nothing except for other groups eating. I make awkward eye contact with the old lady right beside us, and I quickly face forward.
Hello? Inspecting the walls?
My words seem to break the spell.
Huh?
You totally spaced out there.
Oops, yeah. Sorry, I just started thinking.
Before I can ask her what about, our waitress returns. Our drinks are balanced on a tray alongside a few other guests. Marina's chocolate milk comes in an enormous tin cup that's the size of my forearm, and there's an entire pot of coffee for me. She sets them down on the table between us.
Girls ready to order?
Whoops, I haven't looked through the menu once. I flipped through it real quick, settling on a standard meal.
You good?
Marina nods.
I'll have the gentleman's breakfast with bacon, eggs over medium, and sourdough toast.
Ooh.
And for you?
I'll have the chocolate chip pancake platter with scrambled eggs.
Wait, you're combining pancakes with scrambled eggs?
You want the kids' meal or the regular?
I choke on my drink as I laugh and feel Marina's foot crash against my leg. Whimpering at that and the dribble of coffee on my chin, I massage my shin underneath the table. Marina frowns at me and the waitress gives me a strange look. Then the typical angelic expression returns as Marina places her order.
The regular, please and thanks.
We'll have that out for you pretty soon.
Once again, she heads back to the kitchen, heels clicking against the tile floor. When she's out of sight, Marina begins a flurry of kicks to my shins, though these ones aren't hard enough to hurt. Scurrying backwards in my seat, I draw my legs up closer to me.
Rude! Rude, rude, rude!
Come on. You were asking for it with the food and the milk. The waitress asking that was just the icing on the cake.
The pancake.
It's not my fault you sophisticated adults don't appreciate chocolate like I do.
She's right. She's right.
You have a bigger sweet tooth than anyone I've ever met. Seriously, how many cavities have you had?
3.
None. I brush my teeth twice a day, every day. The last time I went
No,
to the
I don't
dentist,
remember.
he said my teeth
Maybe?
were so shiny he could see his reflection in them.
All I know is I have sensitive gums.
And when was that?
It's like, oh, you bleed because you don't floss. No, I'm bleeding because you keep poking sensitive flesh. He thinks about it for a minute.
Maybe 3 years?
That doesn't count anymore then.
When was the last time you had chocolate milk?
Now I have to think about that. I don't drink a whole lot of milk to begin with, and as for chocolate...
Maybe when I was a little kid? I don't know.
Why would you deny yourself the pleasure of chocolate milk?
Amber, you poor, poor thing.
She slides her giant cup towards me, some sloshing over the sides in her haste.
Try it.
Dredges of milk surround the rim of the cup from Marina sipping. Across from me, she waits, looking eager. I'm surprised she's not bouncing like normal. After sighing exaggeratedly, I pick up the cup and down a large gulp, trying not to think silly cliche thoughts about indirect kisses. Ah! To my surprise, the drink is really good. It's got a deeper, rich flavor than the stuff you get in jugs at the store. I can tell that they made it themselves in a kitchen. It's not overwhelmingly sweet, in fact, it's perfect. Damn, I don't know if I'm disappointed or not, giving her the satisfaction of being right. My pride aches. As I push the cup back towards Marina, she receives it with a sly smirk.
So?
She draws out the word, already knowing my answer.
It wasn't bad.
That's all I'm willing to concede. She laughs and takes another huge sip. After setting the cup down, she has a thick milk mustache on her upper lip. I watch with inappropriate fascination as her tongue comes out and cleans it away. What that mouth do? Marina grabs the sheet she was coloring and then pushes that over to me as well. Why am I in the menu again? Why does this keep happening to me?
Wanna color something?
Yes.
Well, you're acting like a kid and all.
Yes. I roll my eyes but snatch away the crayons that she offers. Most of the pictures, all of them breakfast foods with faces and dated outfits, have already been colored in. There's a stylish looking piece of bread with a dress and a wig that's still blank though. I color the dress with the green crayon as lightly as I can and use a lighter shade of red for the hair. Most of the pictures, all of them breakfast foods with faces and dated outfits, have already been colored in. There's a stylish looking piece... What? Alright. When I'm done, I hold up the page to show Marina.
It's you.
It's you! She leans in.
Huh?
The colors. Look, you're toast.
She collapses backwards as if my pun physically wounded her. She shakes her head and looks down while I crack up.
That was even worse than Sam I Amber.
I don't get the semi-amber, by the way.
Uh-huh. You better step up your game some.
I'm gonna fucking cry.
Please, stop.
I don't plan to. The only thing that saves her is the arrival of our waitress right then. That's pretty fast service considering how busy this place is. Keeping in style with our oversized beverages, the portions are enormous. The place that Marina's pancakes are served on is so large it looks like it could have been used as a shield back in medieval times. And the pancakes form a tower that is probably half a foot tall. Wow! My own meal arrives on a similarly giant plate. We have to scramble and move our drinks around just to make room. There's hardly any empty space.
Can I get you girls anything else?
Marina shakes her head, but I look down at the table as I mumble.
Can I get a glass of chocolate milk, please?
Ah! Green eggs and ham. One of the lines was Sam I am. I will not eat green eggs and ham or something like that. Okay, that's highly specific. I have not heard of that before in my life. As the waitress departs yet again, I glance over, prepared for the inevitable teasing, but instead Marina just stares at her food dumbstruck.
Maybe I should have gotten the kid size.
It's interesting. In her sprite, the dress, like both the upper part and the lower part of white, but in that one CG we saw, the lower part for some reason was completely blue. I don't get it. We had to read that in first grade and teacher made ham and scrambled eggs, which she dyed green. I gotta be honest though. Like, I'm already someone who doesn't like eggs, who can't eat eggs, and I also don't like them. Seeing scrambled eggs is already meh for me, but if they're dyed green, I would not want to eat them. I finish about half of my meal before the dismay sets in. There's no way I can possibly finish this. Most people I know couldn't eat this much food in one sitting. Every bite is a struggle. Marina's failing similarly. Her plate of eggs is nearly untouched, just because there's so much pancake to work through. And I can tell that pancake fatigue, the feeling where you get halfway through them and then realize you're sick of pancakes, has long since set in for her. Egg is hit and miss, like them scrambled. I have to dump tons of salt on them. Nah. I don't like the taste or the texture. It's a very weird taste. She cuts off a bite, looks at it for a while, then sets her fork down.
I think I'm done.
Yeah, you and me both.
The largest plate I have consists of a mass of potatoes, cheese and bacon with the eggs laid over it. And then of course there was a toast, fruit and sausage, which each got their own smaller plate. I'd have to order them from the kids menu too if I'd known this was how it would be. I mean, if they already have big drinks, you can kind of expect the food to be big portions as well, no? The texture's weird, unique for sure.
I don't think I'll ever want pancakes again.
Oh no! For once I don't have any snarky remarks. Anyone would be sick of them after what she just went through.
We'll get some boxes to go. At least we'll have food for a week now if we ever get stranded.
Yeah. After our waitress brings us our bill and styrofoam containers, we head back out to the RV. It looks like traffic hasn't gotten much better in the 45 minutes that we've been out of it. Cars are still pressed bumper to bumper, the sidewalks are also full with swarms of pedestrians making better time than the traffic. I wonder if it's always this busy or if people are just deciding not to drive. Once we're ready to go, I take us over to the edge of the parking lot. As expected, the constant stream of cars makes it impossible for us to get out. I watch impatiently for an opening in traffic, but can't see one for miles.
Oh, come on!
I press my forehead to the steering wheel. We've been sitting here for minutes now.
Is there another exit we could use?
Oh yeah, I
On a
hate
different
that.
Street?
When you suck, and you know what the worst part is? Is when you need to look out for both sides and you see an opening on one side and then there's a car coming from the other side and you're like, come on! I just want to get on the road. I look and check the mirrors but don't see anything. The edges of the diner's property are surrounded by a cream-colored fence.
Nope.
Marina begins to sigh, but that quickly turns into a sound of surprise.
Amber, look!
She points past my face and out the window. An older lady in a little hatchback sedan has stopped to let us out. The two of us wave at her as we finally lumber onto the road itself.
Yay! I'm glad
Nice.
somebody was nice at least.
Yeah. Still a long way to go, though.
Man, you drive a manual, it's not that bad. You just need to press the accelerator and the brake sometimes. Do that when you drive stick. Then you can complain. The long line of cars extends as far as I can see, before it finally goes out of sight around a bend in the road.
Why do you think it's so
Cars and
much
boats that
busier
travel the
here
perfect
than
rate
the
of
other
speed.
places
Yeah.
we've been?
Arches is one of the most popular national parks. Like, when you think of parks in the US, you think of Arches and the Grand Canyon and Yosemite. That kind of thing.
It's pronounced Yosemite. Okay, thanks.
So I think a lot of people will be at those big spots.
It's a good thing this game is voiced. I would have made a fool out of myself so many times already.
Think it'll be like Shiprock again?
What, with the megaphone and law enforcement?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. Probably not. These parks are a lot bigger and more spread out. Way harder to have people watching. The only option would to be straight up close.
And then you have horrible people who sneak in and out of bounds anyway.
Yeah, exactly. Who would ever do
Who would
that?
ever do that?
Nobody.
You
we
do it
know,
anyways.
that's
I
for
sure do.
It's okay.
That's what you're all here
Once we're
for.
filthy
For
rich,
seeing
we
me
can
make a fool
donation
out of
to the
myself.
canyon or something.
Let's just buy the canyon and pay to have everything reconstructed.
Perfect.
It takes a while, but we finally make it past all of the stoplights. After that, it's still slow going, but at least it's steady. Maybe 15 minutes past crawling through town before things start to pick up. Still, a couple miles away, I can finally see the exit for the park itself. Some people continue past, staying on the highway, but more stay in line for Arches. At least there's a whole lane for people like us. Traffic is congested like my nose in winter, but the end is in sight.
May as well get comfy. We're gonna be here a while.
Taking my advice, Marina leans back and props her feet up on the dash. Her dress bunches up by her knees, leaving most of her legs exposed. I sneak a few guilty glances from the corner of my eye. If I didn't know better, I think that all the skin she shows was intentional. But it's Marina, which means she's not even conscious about this stuff. Or me, for that matter. I wonder if she knows that I'm into her. To distract myself, I grab the box of tapes. I kept the music off earlier so that Marina could sleep.
Wanna pick this time?
Sure.
Setting it in her lap, she begins to rummage through the bin. Thank you for the bright redeem. I'm pretty sure that she knows all of the music I have by now. We've listened to every tape at least once, and I'd have an okay feel for what she likes and what she doesn't. You know where I stand on braids? I sure do. Sometimes she taps her fingers to the beat or hums along when she likes what we're listening to. If she doesn't, she flat out ignores it. The one she settles on is an album of instrumental folk songs, very stereotypical Western sounding. It's a little high energy for just sitting still in traffic, but that's alright. It's better than nothing. We just listen to the music, which I've cranked up loud while we wait. The album is nearly half over by the time we finally make it through the park gates. Beyond them, traffic mercifully lets up some. Not because there are fewer cars, there are more cars than rocks to be seen. But a lot of those are pulled over on the shoulder or cramped into parking lots. Nearly every inch of pavement that doesn't have a car on it has a person instead. Also, there are different trails and forks in the road, so not everyone is going in the same direction now. Being able to drive without having to tap the brakes every couple seconds is a relief. A pickup truck towing a trailer pulls off the shoulder ahead and back onto the road, so I take a spot. Putting it in park, I take a swig of stone cold coffee.
Wanna grab the pamphlets?
We snagged a couple of brochures back at the diner. They don't have a whole lot of info, but they're a starting point. Marina retrieves them and spreads them out on the table like puzzle pieces. Alongside them is a journal. Its spine has lost all strength and the pages just flop around.
So, the journal says that it's buried between two things.
Right, but something out of the way.
Peering out the windshield into the expanses beyond, there's a lot that could be considered out of the way.
It'd have to be something memorable. Or else he'd come back and have no idea where to go.
And anything memorable is probably gonna be something popular, right?
Exactly, yeah.
She flips through some of the pamphlets. They all have the same information and the same landmarks, just with slightly different pictures. She was about to toss one of them, but it catches my eye.
Hand me that.
Marina passes over the brochure, and I turn to one of the Indian pages. It has only one picture and a longer paragraph of text. I read aloud.
One of the most famous landmarks in all of the park, Double Arch is a fan
Oh.
favorite. Recognizable for its two elegant curves. Double Arch can be accessed via a short hike and is open to exploration.
I hold up the flyer so she can see the picture. It's of two huge arches of stone connected at one side but otherwise perpendicular from each other. She snatches it out of my hands for a closer look, nearly cutting my fingers.
Oh my god, you think it's between the two of these?
That makes sense, right? You definitely remember how it looks. And it's kind of out of the way.
The papers whiz past my face as Marina hurls them backwards and she points forward.
Choo-choo, full steam ahead.
I throw the RV back into drive and pull out into the road again. There's signs everywhere for Double Arch, so we don't need the map that we got at the gate. We pass signs for other landmarks too, some with pretty weird names. There's the Parade of Elephants for one thing, which is in the same direction as Hamrock. There's even a phallic sounding rock simply called the Organ. All of those are down exits we don't take. Instead, we soon end up in the back of yet another traffic jam. Marina stares out the window as we creep along. Where we are right now is nearly indistinguishable from the highways we spend so much time on. There are a few actual arches around, but none distinct enough to get any real attention. Inch by inch, we advance down the road until we finally come to the parking lot for Double Arch. Only problem is, it's totally full. Not just busy, but packed. Every parking spot is taken, with a few cars jammed into empty space that's clearly not meant for that. Like lice, people swarm up and down the arch itself, visible even from the road. At least this time, it isn't off limits.
Looks like everyone else had the same idea.
I mean, yeah.
Don't sound so
If it's
glum.
easily
We can still
accessible
go take a
and
look.
a well-known spot, it would be.
We can ever find somewhere to park.
Yeah, that is a pretty big if.
The entire caravan passes by the parking lot. There's at least a dozen cars behind me too. Maybe a half mile up the road we come across another lot.
Up for a bit of walking?
Yeah.
I quickly take one of the remaining spaces. There are a few openings here. Looks like most people weren't as willing to walk as Marina is. Some of the cars behind us pull in too. We opt to leave the metal detector and other equipment in the RV for now. If we see anything that looks promising, we can come back and grab it. The walk back up to Double Arch doesn't take long, and it's nice to be outdoors again. We have to stick to the very edge of the road to avoid the stream of cars flowing towards us. Seems there was more than a dozen behind us after all. It's a short hike from the double arch parking lot to the arch itself. It's an easy one and we don't even break a sweat. Up close, it's obvious that there aren't many people here just to see the sights. Almost everyone is carrying a shovel or other tool. There's a pair of park rangers watching, but they don't seem to be intervening at all. They just slouch against a wooden fence, looking defeated.
Can you imagine how big of celebrities we'd be if anyone here knew we found this shipwrecked treasure?
Maybe you shouldn't talk about that. I whisper as quietly as I can to Marina. Okay, never mind, you whispered it, that's okay.
Right? I was thinking about that earlier. I kinda wanted to show off, but that's probably not a
You
good
really
idea.
shouldn't know.
Like anyone would believe us anyway. But you don't want to have your face all over the New York Times as one of the girls who found the treasure?
Being in the local newspaper is on my bucket list.
It is. Dream big,
My
Marina.
friends from school would totally have a heart attack when they found out.
Showing off is never a good idea.
But don't they always say to keep it a secret if you win the lottery?
Yes.
Yeah. Otherwise, people will never leave you alone. You'll get all sorts of messages from
You
people
love
you
Marina.
used to
She's
know or
so
long-lost
cute. I love her
relatives.
as well.
I have enough not lost relatives to deal with. Plus, I don't want to get kidnapped and held for ransom or something like that. What about you?
No way. I'm just gonna quietly retreat into one of my 3 mansions when all this
Oh,
is
one
over.
of 3.
Oh, you're only gonna buy 3?
Yeah, gotta save the rest
I
for
don't know,
my
I have a
14
feeling
new
that that
motorhomes
gold
after
is
all.
not worth as much as they expect it to be. She giggles.
Do I get to drive one of them?
Why not? But you could buy your own, you know.
No way! I'll just come bother you if I need one.
We've gotten as close to the arches as we can. The mob of sweaty people is too thick for us to push our way through. There are dozens of people sweeping over the dusty ground with metal detectors. Hanging back around the edge, Marina's smile fades away quickly.
Yeah, this is a bit of a mess.
People jostle and push each other out of the way. It's hard to believe anyone is actually prospecting so much as they're just trying not to lose their spot.
Maybe we should come back later?
I don't know if it'll be any better later, but maybe.
I guess. Though if the treasure is here, I feel like someone would have found it by now.
Just like back at Canyon de Chelly.
You know, this must have been going on for a few days now.
I keep thinking though, in the journal, he said that they look like they might collapse at any second. It was 2 stones touching. I mean, I can see that the one in the middle looks like it could come falling down, sure, but when I thought they would be like, you know how the tip of a triangle was touching, right? Like one from the right, one from the left, close together. But I'm guessing I have the wrong, like my thinking was wrong.
Yeah.
My imagination. All the enthusiasm she had just a minute ago when we were joking around has evaporated in the desert sun. A rock skips past my foot as she kicks at the dirt. I poke her and she yelps in surprise.
Hey now, I'm not saying we give up. I'm just saying we regroup and strategize. We can go see the rest of the park in the meantime.
Sure.
Didn't you say you've wanted to see this place for a while?
Yeah, I guess.
It's obvious that she's still bummed, but there's nothing I can do about that. Once we're back in the motorhome, we leave the busy main road ASAP and spend a while seeing the sights from our air-conditioned comfort. Marina's mood improves steadily throughout the day, counteracted only by our growing hunger. As we pull back into Moab, we're both ravenous.
Wanna just heat up our leftovers? Guessing that's a no.
I'm not ready for pancakes again yet. I need a day.
You
or
still have some
maybe a
egg on that
week.
thing though. You could just eat the egg.
Let me know if you see somewhere you want me to stop.
Now that it's approaching evening, there aren't any more massive traffic jams going through Moab. We can cruise through at a steady pace, just like when we first got into Arches. Until I slam on the brakes.
You're kidding me.
Oh no. Marina had been slouching, but bolts upright at a sudden stop.
What happened?
Just a few feet ahead, in the parking lot of the diner we ate this morning, is Mariah's motorhome.
That. It's them.
Well, you told them this is where the next one would be. I point and Marina leans forward. When she recognizes the RV, she grins.
Should we go see them?
What? No way! That's extra reason to avoid that place.
But Amber, maybe we could see about teaming up for the treasure here or something.
That'd never happen. Mariah would rather lose every time than have our help. Besides, it's not like...
Please.
Please. Already giving up in my head, I give Marina one last desperate look.
Seriously.
Yeah, even if we don't team up, it'd be nice to see them again.
You saw them yesterday.
Not sure if nice is the word I'd use.
Despite my muttering, I flick on my blinker and change lanes, pulling into the parking lot yet again. Like this morning, it seems pretty busy. I have to park next to Mariah's RV because it's the only open spot large enough. Marina skips out and towards the entrance while I trudge behind her. It doesn't take long to find the trio. Even amongst all the eccentric people that the hunt has drawn, their questionable fashion sense stands out. They have a large table near the back, bigger than the one Marina and I ate this morning. Joseph and Taz share a bench, while Mariah is spread across the opposite side. It's probably supposed to look sultry, but it comes across more like the bench is devouring her. When she sees them, Marina scurries to the back, hand raising greeting. I bring up the rear, still slow.
Hey guys!
Tess and Joseph both wave, the latter smiling when he sees us. Mariah looks surprised for a second, but then scolds and turns towards the wall. The feeling is mutual.
Hey, imagine running into you two here. Just get into town?
No, we've been here the entire day.
Nope, we've been here all day.
That's what I'm saying.
We actually ate breakfast at this place this morning.
Yeah, you're always a couple steps behind us, I guess.
Mariah's glare is stonier than the double arch itself, but of course she keeps looking at the wall instead of us. Joseph laughs though.
Here, let's break bread.
He and Tess scoot down the booth, making some room which Marina promptly fills. I'm left next to the smoldering fury that is Mariah. She moves her leg just a little, but enough for me to sit down.
Thanks. Sorry to barge in on you guys like this.
It's no problem. More the merrier.
You guys should get kid-sized portions at this place, otherwise you're gonna suffer like we did.
I hope you don't expect us to cover your bill.
Groaning, Joe puts his hands over Tess's ears.
Could you at least try not to be a pain in the ass between the hours of 5 p.m. and 6 in the morning? It would make my life a lot easier.
He uncovers Tess's ears and gives us a blank look.
She's right, though. There's no way we can afford that.
We had to dine and dash for breakfast.
So what about you? How long have you been
That's
here?
not... Go further into that.
We got in around lunchtime. Spent forever and a half stuck in traffic, though.
He sounds worn out. I wonder if Mariah ever lets him drive, or makes him.
Us too. We were gonna look around Double Arch, but it was too busy.
Anyone, Five Guys, don't go for the large portion, especially on the fries. Oh. We do have Five Guys here now, as well, I think. I've heard of a Five Guys being somewhere, but I've not gone there yet.
Yeah, we took one look at it and just kept driving.
I wonder how long
Didn't
he'll
wanna
stay.
try it.
They fill the bag. Ooh.
Sis said anyone who bothered to get out was a fuck.
You weren't supposed to hear that.
A what? Yeah, I saw one in Austria on my holiday.
I told you, this girl hears everything. Anyway, we were thinking about heading back this evening. See if it maybe cleared out some.
We were gonna do that too. I was telling Amber that we should see if maybe you guys wanted to team up and we could look together.
Hell no.
The two of us look at each other. Seems all that we ever agree on is not sticking together.
No offense to you, Joe. Just didn't wanna,
I trail off, trying to think of an excuse that didn't want to deal with Mariah, which is the truth. But Joseph just laughs and waves it off.
Nah, I get what you mean. Don't think Mariah would be too fond of splitting the goods either.
Marina frowns, but perks back up after just a second. Soon a waitress comes to take our order. Marina and I are careful to order meals on a smaller side, just sandwiches with fries. On the other hand, Mariah's order comes with a bunch of requirements as to what can and can't be on it. By the time she's made so many substitutions and extras, it hardly resembles the item described on the menu.
So, I can tell you ladies that it's not at the Parade of Elephants, and Delicate Arch was a no-go too. Think we might try Skyline next.
Oh.
Good luck, I guess. I wonder how many of those the miner would have known about, though. Pretty sure this park wasn't founded till after the gold rush.
Joseph shrugs.
Amber knows a lot about these places. She's like an encyclopedia.
I can feel my face flush like always when she praises me.
Not really. I just know bits and pieces.
Still, something to be proud of. Aren't too many girls your age who care about anything that happened more than 5 years ago.
My age? How old are you?
It's really nothing special. I just spent a lot of time on the road when I was younger.
That's so.
I appreciate his leaving it as an open-ended question rather than prying. Marina looks at me, eyes wide, probably to see if I'm about to cry or something. I try to be nonchalant.
Yeah, until I was in middle school. My grandpa used to drive me all over the country.
Sounds like a fun time.
It was.
Guess there's no point in hiding it. Plus, Joseph has this kind of disarming air to him, like he exudes calmness.
Passed away a little while ago. Still a little.
I tap my throat, hoping that gets my point across. It does. Joseph nods.
I'm sorry for your loss. I know how hard that can be.
Thanks.
Marina's eyes flick between me and Joseph. She must be pretty worried, so I force a smile, even though I can feel that growing glumness that shows up anytime I talk about Gramps.
Meeting this dork has helped a lot, though.
I jerk my chin towards Marina, who looks shocked, as if I could have been talking about anyone else.
It's been a while moping around before that.
Family is good.
I blink. It's so easy to forget that she's there.
Yeah, definitely.
I hadn't really thought of it before, but Tess seems to be in a similar situation I was, growing up on a go and all. I'm curious how it happened, but I won't ask. Not my place. A fourth look seeps onto Joe's face. He stares out the window, like he's gazing at something 100 yards away. Mariah glances up at him. For a split second, if that, she even looks a little concerned, but then it's right back to business as usual. She leers over at me and shoves herself back into the conversation.
So what are you going to do?
Huh?
When all this is over?
She gestures around.
Dinner?
No, dumbass! I meant the treasure hunt! Forget it. I don't actually care.
Don't know yet. Mare and I have been kind of talking about that.
She's gonna buy 3 mansions.
Yeah, that. I'll have plenty of time to figure stuff out in my mansions.
I think this is the first time she actually used some kind of nickname in front of other people. 3 of us chuckle, but then the conversation trails off. Tess and Marina working on coloring Tessa's menu. From what I can see, it is different characters than the one this morning. They look like they make a good team. Each of them work on separate pictures, but switch from time to time. So Marina will color the hair on one character, then Tess colors the clothes. Despite not talking at all, they don't ever get in each other's way. Joseph also observes from above, smiling slightly. He's usually the one to play with Tess, so it must be nice for her to have some company. On the other hand, like a jug of milk, Maya's mood seems to be getting more and more sour. I don't even know what she's mad about this time. Maybe something happened before we showed up, or maybe it's because we showed up. Either way, she ought to have memorized every single detail of the wall she's been staring at this entire time. She doesn't look up until our food arrives a little bit later. It's a good thing we have a large table, because there's still hardly any room left once all the plates are set down. Oh man! That looks nice. My sandwich is so big it takes 2 hands to hold, and I have enough fries to sustain Ireland for the winter! When Marina picks up a sandwich, all the ingredients pour out the bag. She quickly gives up trying to reconstruct it and just uses a knife and fork instead. Watching the other 3 eat is amusing too. Joseph chews with slow, measured bites, whereas Mariah attacks her meal like it owes her money. Across from her, Tess is cutting up chicken tenders with surgical precision. Marina catches me staring and smiles at me covertly. Seems she's noticed too. Mariah's the first to finish eating. I'm just a couple bites behind. That's embarrassing. She wipes her face with a napkin and finally looks at me.
Where are you 2 staying?
It could be an innocent question, or it could be a trap.
Around. We'll find a parking lot somewhere.
You thieves are gonna have a late start then.
I guess. Don't tell me you planned ahead and got a campsite.
Don't be stupid. Of course not.
Who would have money for a campsite? If they had to dine and dash for breakfast this morning, I doubt they have that
That's
money.
not what I meant.
I scoff as she backtracks to keep from insulting herself.
What I mean is, there's no way they're gonna bother checking every single permit.
Uh-huh.
There's too much going on right now.
Oh.
Just pick a nice spot out of the way, don't make trouble, and it'll be fine.
Joey flatly stares at Mariah.
Easier said than done.
Good luck with that. I don't want to take the risk.
On foot, if you're trespassing and you get caught, most of the time you just get thrown out. But I don't want our license plates getting written down as something if you were to do what she suggests. Mariah shrugs.
Suit yourself. Don't say I didn't never try to help you.
We bought a campsite, we can't afford to eat anything now.
Didn't ever.
You ever camp here before, Amber? Sounded like you know the place.
Long time ago. I don't remember a whole lot. Just good at remembering names, I guess.
Useful skill to have.
Yeah. Used to be before we'd go anywhere. Gramps and I would research the place we were going.
Oh,
History and stuff like that.
that's good.
You sure learned a lot of useful stuff from him, huh?
Yep. Always wanted to make him proud. He used to say I was a real chip off the...
My words catch in my throat, not because I'm emotional, but because I just realized something. Remembered it, rather. Mariah and Joe know it too. Mine and Mariah's eyes lock, and she bolts up at my words. The other two look confused.
We're leaving!
Pay! You have to pay! Mariah sprints for the door without paying, and I nearly yank Marina's arm out of its socket as we run to the exit. Other diners turn to watch us, but I barely notice them.
Amber, what the heck?
Her voice is shaky from being jolted around.
I know where the treasure is.
I yell behind me as I turn to look and see the trio exit the restaurant close behind us. Joey's carrying Tess on his back.
I know where it is.
You guys, if you want to dine and dash, you should make it less obvious. I say it again to assure myself. We reached the motorhome seconds after Mariah and her crew reached theirs. I practically hurl Marina up and into her spot before I leap into my own. Not even bothering to buckle up, I hurry towards the road. Less than a minute and we're already falling behind. I watch Mariah's taillights as she speeds up the road, horn blaring to scare away the cars unfortunate enough to be in her lane. I'm going as fast as I dare to, so worried about cops that could be lurking around one of the bends in the road. But I can't let out of my sights. There's no room to pass yet, but I have to watch for an opportunity. With one hand, Marina clutches the headrest bar of her seat. Then she leans over and past my face, nearly causing me to swerve from shock.
What are you...
She grabs my seatbelt and buckles me in. Then she does the same for herself.
Hey, now that we're at least not gonna die if you hit something,
I don't think that's how it works.
can you tell me what exactly is happening?
She sounds a little frantic and a little curious.
Okay, so do you remember Balanced Rock?
It wasn't one of the places that we visited earlier today, but it's one of the spots that's on posters and in lots of the ads.
I think so, or at least hearing about it.
There used to be another really famous rock right next to it. Smaller, but a similar shape and everything. They called it Chip Off the Old Block.
What do you mean, used to be?
I was getting to that. A long time ago, like 50 years or
Oh.
something, it fell. Now you can't even tell it
It
apart
fell,
from the rest
huh?
of the rocks on the ground.
50 years. So that was...
Her eyes go wide in understanding, a fact which I look away from Mariah's rear to take
So it
in.
was still standing when the miner came through.
Yeah, exactly. I'll bet you anything he hid the treasure between Balanced Rock and what used to be Chip.
I look over again to smile at her, only to see genuine admiration and awe in her face. Her eyes are wide and her mouth slightly open. Like always, I can't look at her for too long, or it starts to make me uncomfortable. Also, you're driving, you should be looking at the road in the first place. Nothing I've said or done is that impressive. Even Mariah knew about Chip. But instead of singing my praises again, she just faces ahead with a little smile. Then her face crumples up.
Amber!
I see it.
A semi has begun pulling out into the road ahead of us. There's no passing lane, so I can't get around him that way.
Damn it!
I tap the brakes since I have to stop and wait for him to get onto the highway. Ahead, I can still see Mariah, but just barely. A few of the cars between us have exited, but her lead has grown. And so I make a quick, reckless decision.
Hold on to something.
Uh-oh.
What are you?
I don't wait for her to finish her question, since she grabs onto her seat as she asked it. To answer, I yank the wheel to the left and into the other lane, even though it's a no-pass zone. Headlights far ahead are speeding towards us, maybe a quarter mile away. Getting closer. A concrete barrier prevents me from going any further to the left. I smash the gas pedal to the floor, putting all my weight onto it. Marina begins to moan with dread at the oncoming car. It's a wordless sound, or maybe the start of my name. My heart is in my throat and I can feel beads of sweat on my forehead. One slides down into my eye, but I can't wipe it away. We're even with the semi now, who seems to be stopping. He probably noticed me and is waiting for me to complete my illegal pass. The car ahead of us is close enough that I can see it in our headlight beams. It's a maroon SUV. They're braking as they approach. But I'm still accelerating, going so fast that I couldn't stop in time even if I wanted to. Like a missile, we shoot forward. I'm at least double the speed limit right now. We come even with the front of the semi, which is hardly rolling. The SUV has come to a complete stop, but there's barely any room between it and the semi now. And then suddenly we're past the cab of the truck. I wrenched the wheel to the right, hard right, throwing us back into our own lane. We zoom past the stopped SUV, who gives me a well-deserved horn blaring. The bassy sound of the semi's horn also booms behind us. But it doesn't matter, because we're okay. We didn't die. A need to breathe hits me, and I realize I've been holding it in. I sigh, adrenaline still coursing through me.
Oh my god! Amber!
Her voice cracks and she starts to laugh, hysterically. I do too, laughing away the anxiety of the last half minute. It felt like much longer, and it's not entirely over yet.
Get too comfy.
Her hands shoot back to where she was hanging on.
Oh.
Just ahead, Mariah still has a lead, but it's shrinking quickly. I wonder if she saw how I caught up. Jamming the gas pedal down again, I start to narrow the distance even more. She takes the exit for Argus just a few seconds ahead of me. We blaze through the entry point, flashing our passes at rangers who barely have time to check them. Even in the darkness, there are lots of people on the sides of the road. I wonder if anyone else has had the same realization we did about Chip. Mariah's starting to gain ground again, so I mash the accelerator farther down, but her motorhome is newer than mine and it's hard for me to keep up. Also, you've been smashing that accelerator the entire time. At some point, your car cannot accelerate anymore because it's just not in there. If I'm going to beat her there, I'll have to do it soon. I check to make sure that Marina's still holding on tight. She is. Just a few feet behind Mariah's RV, I illegally swing into the other lane yet again. This is even more risky because of the way the road curves all over the canyon. An oncoming car could run a bend and completely blindside us. Hope that doesn't happen. By pushing the RV to its absolute limits, I'm about to break even with Mariah. Looking over, I can see a wild flare in her eyes, hair disheveled. Her expression changes to one of shock when she notices us beside her. I relish in a look of disbelief as I nudge the wheel to the right. There's a god-awful scraping as the motorhome brushes against Mariah's. Her eyes, as well as Marina's, widen. Seconds after we pull apart, Mariah's vehicle lurches towards us, and again there's a sound that makes me want to rip my ears off. I fight to keep control of the motorhome and stay on the road. Awestruck bystanders watch as we pass by, but I hardly register them. Still neck and neck, we continue toward the balanced rock. Through insane luck, or divine intervention or something, the road ahead is clear. I won't try to shove them off the road again, because there are now steep drop-offs that could actually be fatal, but I do have to do something to gain an edge. Just arriving seconds before her isn't enough. A sign, visible for just a split second, informs us that there are 5 miles to Balanced Rock. An RV hits its limits rather soon, for sure! There is no way you can keep accelerating with a motorhome. What might have been an error for an exit has been scuffed to illegibility. Maybe that's our chance. Up ahead, barely illuminated by a flickering lamp, the road splits into 2 directions. A sign in the middle is smashed and folded in on itself, probably the result of someone's reckless driving. One of these paths leads to Balanced Rock, but I don't know which. I'm willing to bet Mariah doesn't either though. From Marina's window, I can see Mariah shoot me one final death glare before they rocket off down the exit. We stay on the other branch, though I'm back in the proper lane now. I just gotta hope it's the right branch. As I start to calm down yet again, I realize my legs are shaking. Marina cranes around to watch Mariah's vehicle, which is quickly disappearing into the murk. Once it's fully out of sight, she turns back to me, her face as white as her knuckles.
You okay?
No. Guilt stabs me. I may have seriously traumatized her, with 2 incidents within minutes of each other. After taking a deep breath, she unclenches her fists.
Can we never, ever do that again?
Yeah, please don't.
That was insane. Super insane.
You're risking
Oh
not
my God.
only
I
your
thought I
own
was
life,
gonna
but also
die.
everyone else's life on the road that you might pass or run into by doing something like this. It's stupid.
Wait. Did we die?
No, we're still alive.
Am I just imagining this now?
I don't think you could imagine stuff if you were dead, kid.
Who knows?
That's the kind of thing a dead person would say. Like in that one movie where it was all about that guy who could talk to dead people, except...
Fine. I'm 90% sure we're not dead then.
Okay. 90%.
I'll take that.
That's not bad. And being a ghost might be kind of cool too. You could spy on people without them ever knowing.
I'll keep that in mind if there's ever someone I want to haunt.
Our voices are shaky, even though our conversation isn't serious. I keep checking the rear view, expecting to see the headlights of Mariah's approaching vengeance, but so far we're in the clear. Each passing minute that we don't see the rock itself, though, makes me worry that we took the wrong turn. Right on the verge of turning around and tailing Mariah, another sign suddenly looms up ahead of us. We've reached Balanced Rock. I slow down as we approach the parking area. While not empty, there are far fewer people here than there were at the Double Arch earlier today. A good number of them look like they might just be sightseers, since they're standing around talking or looking at the stars instead of searching. Parking is easy since there are a lot of open spaces. When I stand up, my legs wobble. I stumble, grabbing Marina's shoulder for support. She smiles at me, but doesn't say anything. No more jokes to crack. It's time to get serious. We grab our equipment and hurry out into the night air. Solid ground feels foreign after the rocketing motorhome. This must be what it feels like to return from a voyage at sea. Marina, the landlubber, doesn't seem to be having any trouble now that we're not barreling along the highway. The spring in her step has returned, and I worry that she's going to bang the metal detector against the ground as she half walks, half skips. Some of the other people watch us go, but no one follows or says anything. They probably assume we're just the next in line of failures. A line which must be pretty long given how much trash and misplaced earth there is around here. Pangs of guilt remind me yet again of the broken brick at Canyon de Chelly, and I make my 18th resolution to be more careful. Just ahead, Marina's come to a stop. Head tilted back, I can tell she's admiring balanced rock. It's certainly an impressive view. Someday I'd like to take her back to all these places we've gone, but without the pressure of the treasure hunt rushing us, just taking in the sights. I slow my steps a little so I can keep watching her from behind. Maybe sensing me, she spins around and waves.
Hurry up!
Yelling, even though I'm close enough to hear her normal volume level, I pick up the pace once more.
So where was Chip?
Over there, to the right.
There's a large stone wall besides balanced rock itself with a short slope between
It was right
them.
at the edge of that little hill.
So where that pile of rocks is now?
Yep, that's the spot.
You can tell that there used to be anything there, but I've seen pictures in the atlases Gramps kept around or in the history books he liked to read. Compared to balanced rock, Chip of the old block looked tiny, but it was actually a decent size. There's a pile of stones at the base that are probably Chip's remains. They're indistinguishable from the rest of the red rocks though. Some are as big as my head or even bigger. It's hard to tell if anyone else has picked through here, but since there aren't any shovel marks or holes, I'm guessing not.
Where do we start?
I think for a moment.
First, let's get the easy stuff out of the way. You go check that side with the metal detector, and I'll check this one.
We sweep over the ground between the hill where Chip once stood and a massive stone wall beside it. Nothing.
Okay, that's pretty much what I expected.
I lean my metal detector against the wall and go back to the pile of rocks.
Just check over the places that I uncover, okay?
Marina nods, holding her detector at the ready. She reminds me of a surgeon about to perform an operation. I roll aside some of the rocks with my feet, but most are so big that I have to stoop down and use my hands. There are more of them than I thought, and I'm soon sweaty and sore.
Do you want any help?
Nah,
I'm panting.
just keep scanning.
She does so, dutifully retracing my steps. Still nothing. After a couple of minutes, I stand up and take a swig from a water bottle. I'm glad I remembered to bring them this time. Marina sets down her metal detector to do the same.
Do you think Tess and them are okay?
Why wouldn't they be?
Don't you think Mariah's gonna flip out when she realizes she took the wrong turn?
Or she just has to come back then.
Probably. That's her fault, though.
Not like you would have let her go down this side of the road.
Hey, I did what I had to do.
Uh-huh. But you're never going to do that again, okay?
Yeah.
If we get the next treasure too, I won't have to.
When we get it, you meanie.
Right. When?
Only one more to go after this. One more frantic search and then... I drain my water bottle and crumple it up before shoving it into my pocket.
Break's over. Back to work.
Why would you do that to a bottle? I pop my back and resume moving rocks out of the way. I've been walking from the outer edge of the rock pile inward since I'm more concentrated in the center. Like a shadow, Marina continues to stick to me, going where I go. Nearly 10 minutes of uninterrupted shuffling pass. By now I'm expecting Mariah to have caught up or to get here soon. But she never arrives. Maybe she just gave up. Although, no Mariah, that's just wishful thinking. I've just finished moving a torso-sized rock when it happens. The metal detector begins to chirp, bright and earnest. Marina and I exchange a look and I nod.
I'll get the shovel!
It's leaning up against the wall by the second metal detector. Marina grabs it, starts back towards me, then doubles back to set her detector aside as well. I move to take the shovel from her, but she holds it away, shaking her head.
Nuh-uh. You moved all the rocks.
Yeah, but
She frowns at me, and I can tell there's an argument I won't win.
Okay. Be careful, though. Don't throw out your shoulder.
I know what I'm doing.
Do you? And she steps at the ground like she's wielding a salad fork. It bounces off with a jolt.
You need to go at it with more of an angle, like you're trying to slide it into the ground.
I move behind her and adjust her arms a little. Her shoulders are damp with sweat, though I'm drenched with it. She tenses up when I first touch her, but relaxes almost immediately. It's enough to make me self-conscious though, and I take a quick step back.
Sorry.
I'm mumbling.
Oh, no, you're fine. You just surprised me.
Her voice is higher than usual.
It's okay. You should have it now.
Nodding, Marina jabs at the ground again. She scoops out a little bit of dirt and dumps it aside. Watching her dig is painful. Either the ground is hard or she's not strong enough to make fast progress. Whatever the reason, it's slow going, but she refuses my repeated offer to take over, so with my hands on my hips, I watch as the hole very slowly gets deeper. She's reached a depth of maybe a foot or so when the shovel thumps against something that isn't dirt. Our eyes instantly meet. I stoop down and brush a little bit of dirt away from the shovel blade. Sure enough, I can feel rough wood just under my fingertips.
Is it?
Yeah, it is.
Now she forces the shovel towards me.
I don't want to mess it up.
Okay. Look out.
She steps back a couple feet, but leans forward to watch. I scrape at the dirt around the spot that we hit, trying to find where the edges are. Once I reveal one corner, I start to dig off thin slices of dirt next to it. Soon the outline of the whole box is visible. I hear Marina suck in a sharp breath. My heart is pounding with the same cautious excitement I felt at Shiprock. It hardly feels real, and yet... well, there's only a 10% chance that I'm dead, and it isn't. I lift the box out of the ground with the blade of the shovel, and Marina plucks it off. It makes a familiar rattling sound as she moves it. Ooh! But I hold up a dirty finger to my lips.
Not yet.
Looking back towards the parking lot, I can tell if anyone has seen us. Seen us dig and find the treasure.
Don't say anything until we get back to the car.
She's a quivering leaf of excitement, but she manages to keep her mouth mostly shut for now. But not before hissing out an excited Amber! I just smile, hoping that it'll come. Marina cradles the box in the crook of her arm like an infant, doing her best to keep it hidden from onlookers as we head back to the motorhome. She carries the shovel in a free hand while I have both metal detectors. I don't even notice the soreness in my arms. Though it's not the first time, the excitement of sitting down in front of the sealed box of gold feels fresh and new. This one feels heavier than the last one, and it rattles less, like there's not as much empty space. Without being asked, Marina retrieves a screwdriver and hammer that I've been using to smash the locks. She sets them down in front of me, but I offer them to her.
Care to do the honors?
You sure?
But she takes them.
Yeah, why not?
Her face lights up with a look of happiness that's worth more to me than the gold. If I'd known it was that big a deal to her, I'd have let her do this back at Shiprock. It takes her a couple tries, but she bashes the lock off without even damaging the rest of the box. She looks to me to open it, but I shake my head.
Nope, that's all you.
But she shakes her head too.
Work together to find it. So
Ooh.
we'll open it together.
And she places a hand over mine, guiding it to the lid.
Ready?
Yeah.
She maneuvers my hand to flip the box open. It's full of dull-colored nuggets like a moldy fast food meal. I take one out, bouncing it in my palm and feeling the heavy softness that's almost familiar by now. Then I pass it to Marina, who treats it with her usual reverence. She gently sets it back into the box and then smiles.
We're pretty good at this whole treasure hunting thing, huh?
Well, we have two of them now. I shut the box and nod.
Yeah, we're not bad.
Even when the box is closed, it radiates a heavy aura, one that's almost intimidating whenever I come near it. I place it in a drawer and seal it away, a sigh of relief following.
2 down, 1 to go.
Whoa, there's only one more piece left?
There is.
I think so. There's only some experts writing about historical relevance after the next entry.
Flopping down on the couch next to Marina, I take a sip of my coffee and flip to the final entry of the journal. Marina glosses over the page, a hazy look forming in her eyes as she soaks it in.
I can't believe it's almost over.
Yeah, it's weird that it hasn't even been that long.
That's true. The motorhome goes quiet, a buzz of the generator humming in the background.
Well, it's not over yet. We still gotta figure out where it is, and then there's still the search.
I think Marina's enthusiasm is becoming infectious. She simply nods now, just gazing into her lap.
Well, let's see what it says.
After several days of travel, I believe I finally arrived at my first destination. It is well known I have an astute eye for locations. After all this, I found my precious bounty, so it knows Okay, let's try that again. Slow down, brain. It is no mistake that I easily found the perfect hiding place within this valley. I arrived on horseback at the blistering peak of noon. Looking for shelter from the coming night, I began noticing something different, something distinct. Crimson, all of it. Shades lighter than pink and darker than blood. Thank you for the pad. But color stained it all, from giant unmovable stones to the tiniest grains of sand. It was as if the land had absorbed the sun's heat and reflected it outwards. Even at sunset, the cave I settled in and emanated a bright red glow that speckled out from its opening. Also, thank you for the hiding time. That night, as I lighted on the ground, watching the flames of my fire shoot up to the cave's roof, I wondered if there were more places like this out in this unsettled land. During my travels on the trail, I was too preoccupied with preparations to observe the world around me, but now that I have achieved success, maybe I shall. It would be a shame if my superb observational skills went to waste. I was never certain about the other locations, and considering how many giant rocks, canyons, and arches are in this country, most of them were probably just a fluke. But this is unmistakable. The vivid and Jesus Christ. The vivid and breathtaking imagery, the constant allusions to flames, and most importantly, the heat.
He hid it in the Valley of Fire.
Marina snaps back to attention, my conviction pulling him back from Marina
Are
land.
you sure?
Positive. There's no other place it could be.
Oh.
She might as well have shot down my momentum with an elephant gun.
Oh, that's all?
Well, if it's so obvious that you can come up with it like a second after reading it, that means a lot of other people will know it's there as well.
Yep.
No.
Ooh, what's that? A place always on fire?
Greetings, gamer! Is Megumin in Darkness from Konosuba? I have not seen Konosuba. I can see I can see the resemblance though. Good evening. How you doing? I'm good. I'm good. We just found another piece of the treasure. She narrows her eyes to an unimpressed squint. If they could shoot lasers, they would be right now.
Amber, how dumb do you think I am?
A little.
I didn't say you were...
Always on fire? Really?
Yes.
Now I feel dumb for saying it.
Probably should.
Ooh. Ouch. If her enthusiasm is infectious, then so is my unrelenting realism. It's corrupting her innocence.
By the way, what's the Valley of Fire?
Well, maybe not too infectious. You're doing good. You gotta stop procrastinating, start studying. Oh. Yeah, you gotta do that. You know what helps me when I want to start studying? Because I'm the type to always go, oh, I can only start at the exact hour, and then I miss the hour, and then I put it off again. You gotta set an actual timer and be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna set a timer and do it right now. The earlier I get started, the earlier I'll be done with it. And it worked for me at least. But yeah, have fun. Massaging my skull by shaking my hair, hopefully creating enough new wrinkles in my brain that will help with explaining this.
Alright, so take a whole bunch of rock, sand, and dirt, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now make most of it red.
Mm-hmm. My explanation is met with a vacant stare.
I swear, it's a lot cooler than I'm making it out to be. It's just kind of hard to explain without pictures.
Don't worry, I believe. Sounds awesome. Where is it anyway?
A little ways into Nevada.
Ooh.
Nevada?
Where's that? Her knees bounced, jolting the table.
Are we even old enough to gamble?
There's more in Nevada than Vegas, dummy.
Still, isn't that pretty far?
That might work to our benefit. I'll need to check the map again, but I think we'll be passing by a
Ooh.
place I want to check out.
Nice. Her voice brightens.
You actually want to go sightseeing?
Yeah.
Don't act so surprised. It's not like I was gonna make a straight shot for California before I picked you up. Besides, I think you might like it.
Though she does like virtually everything.
It's a place called Zion. It's a national park here in Utah. I hear it's a hell of a lot greener than the places we've been through. I
Ooh.
know we're in a rush, so we won't stay very long.
She's going to burst from excitement, and I still can't resist messing with her. It's cute.
But I guess if you don't think we can afford the time...
I expect her to throw herself at me, hug me, squeeze me with all the energy and happiness she usually does it with. But she doesn't. Sitting perfectly still, Marina takes a single breath and gazes at me with a smile.
I've been surrounded by desert all my life. Seeing green for once would be nice. I'd love to go with you, Amber.
Aww. An unsettling hollowness expands in my chest as I realize I don't know how to deal with a serious Marina.
Oh. Alright then.
Zion National Park is a location of one of the Fallout New Vegas DLCs. Alright. She doesn't answer. Eyes now closed, arms folded in her lap, the empty cooperative smile more forced than ever.
Well, there's still a lot of hours left in the day. I'm not sure if we'll make it in time to check into the campground, but we'll be close enough that we can do it in the morning if we leave now.
Marina nods. We scooch out of the booth and walk the 10 awkward steps to our seats. Strapping ourselves in, I switch on the ignition, the RV snorting into being. I reach for the cassette player, then look to Marina, already lost in her thoughts as she stares out the window. I don't have the courage to snap out of it this time. Sighing, I bring my hand back without pressing play and pull the motorhome into drive. It's too bad too. I think I'm really starting to like Marina's hugs. Hours and several cups of coffee later, we've arrived at our destination, or at least close enough to easily check in the morning, yet hidden enough to not get towed. Actually, there's an option, I think if I understood correctly, there's an option to this game which is a hardcore mode. Now you might be wondering, what is a hardcore mode in a visual novel, in a kinetic visual novel of all things? There's no choices in this game. Apparently the hardcore mode wants you to actually take the time it would to do all of these things in real life. So like the game just now is like, oh yeah, hours later. I don't know how many hours that drive would actually be, but the hardcore mode is like, yeah, well, you gotta wait for like the 7 hours it takes for them to drive there until you can continue the game or something. If I understood correctly. I don't want to talk absolute bullshit, but I think if I understood correctly, that's how it works. I'm like, sure, of course, alright, yeah, definitely. Realism. Yeah. Marina looks through the window, but her eyes drift back over to me, then mine to hers. For one drawn-out second, our eyes interlock, petrified by the other stares. That account for sleeping time too? Yes, it would actually take a long time to play through the entire game like that, I think. Then time continues. Our heads swing in the other direction so fast it takes my mind a few moments to catch up. The side of her cheek I can still see is flushed. Glancing in the rearview mirror, I find mine are too. I grip the steering wheel, then cautiously, without turning my head, look back to Marina. She notices. Our eyes connect again. Blush, rinse, repeat. The past 4 hours have been excruciating, especially while fighting the urge to throw on music. I wanted to give Marina the space she needed to say what she has to, or give myself the space to blurt out what I need to say. It was just... Would I have to eat a large portion of pancakes as well for the for the realistic experience? Maybe. Again, Marina looks. I jump, we blush. Never the right time. Deciding I've had enough, I hop out of my seat and stretch. Marina follows. I grab my mug from the holder and drag myself across the scratchy carpet to the sink. A small jolt shocks my finger as I reach for the faucet. The mug slips from my hand and crashes onto the counter, splashing coffee everywhere.
Crap. Let me help.
Marina springs over and reaches for the kitchen rag, but I swat down her hand and grab it just as she does.
Don't worry.
Now we're forced to look directly at each other, but there's no blushing this time. I nod and pull away the rag as her fingers slide down the fabric.
I got this.
She stares down at the counter, the spilled coffee trickling onto the floor with a steady drip.
Oh.
Without another word, she slouches back to the couch.
If you give me a sec, I can set up the bed.
The bed's metal frame slams down with a loud clank that vibrates underneath my feet, followed by the couch cushion swishing past me, landing on the other side of the motorhome.
For ya.
Damn it. Whatever, I'll deal with this in the morning. I toss the rag into the sink and head to my room, hesitating in front of the slider. Please don't let it end like this.
Amber.
There's a pause. Several times I hear small gasps like she's about to speak, but they will just melt into sighs.
Good night.
No, don't just say good night.
Night.
What happened anyway? The fact that it works. The total time you have to wait is 170 hours, an entire week. Oh my god. My hand bolts into a fist, my fingernails clawing deep into my skin. I step into the room and shut the slider behind me, immediately throwing my face into the pillow. I can feel my heart pounding as I roll into my back, lying there, twisted up in my sheet. It just keeps beating and beating, never settling down. Managing to lift myself up on my elbows, I look at the picture next to the slider. The one with the vinyl sleeve. I still remember how his hand felt against my head, from the bony joints of his fingers to how the calluses massaged my scalp. For such a breezy old man, it's amazing to think just how strong and confident his love was. I let my head fall back against the bed and rest my form over my face.
Oh man, what am I gonna do, Gramps?
Suffer a little. A brisk wind curls around me as I step out into a patch of dirt that can barely be called a parking spot in a place that can barely be called a campground. Misty curtains have settled over the nearby hills, and mountains and small specks of leftover morning dew occasionally drip on me from above. Bending down, I drop my backpack and pull out the tongue of my sorta new hiking boots. A little big, but they'll work. Considering these came from the stash of supplies we bought from Mariah in New Mexico, her feet must be freaking huge.
All set?
Marina standing behind me, frowning at her own Velcro-strapped boots.
Just about. These boots are pretty big, though.
You think so? They feel a bit snug to me.
Oh, you also have big feet? Sheesh, never mind about Mariah.
Hey, forget about the treasure.
12
Let's just
hours
dress you up
has
as
to run the
Bigfoot
entire
and
time so
turn
you
you
can
in
save
for
from
a cash
closet.
reward.
Yeah. Nah, it actually, I guess it's one of those things where you just have to keep it running in the back or something. The joke is awful and I know it. Still, Marina plays along, sticking her tongue out in a half-playful manner before she forces a tired smile. The whole time, she doesn't make eye contact. So much for lightening the mood. Last night's sudden tension is still present. Even though we try to ignore it or pretend it isn't there, we both know. We both can't look at each other directly and our conversation feels awkward and stilted. But we pretend everything's normal as we try to put on our best performances and reenact our usual routine.
So, how long is the hike?
3 hours.
The brochure said about 90 minutes each way. Might take even longer in this weather.
Well, 90 minutes each way? I'm pretty good with my time then.
Oh.
I can feel the gulf between us. It's like yet another canyon, except I don't know how to cross this one.
The picture in the brochure was super pretty. Angel's Landing, right?
Now it's her turn to try and lighten the mood. I hate how we're both too afraid to just address the issue. What is the issue, actually? I don't get it. But I'm just as guilty as she is here. I sigh and play along as best as I can.
Yeah, it's nice. It's supposed to be the most scenic view in Zion.
That's what Gramps told me anyway. This hike was one of his favorites. Said the view is so lush that there's so many trees and plants that he discovered several new shades of green up there. It was one of the spots that he was most looking forward to visiting with me. I glanced back up at the mountains. The mist doesn't look like it will clear anytime soon. In fact, it seems to be swallowing up more of the landscape. It's got Marina's attention too. She stares up as if she's picking out specific details in a fog. While she's distracted, I let my gaze rove over her again. Guiltily, like I'm sneaking glances, but I don't care. Admiring the sweep of her shoulders down into her collarbone and the rest of the curves of her body. Excuse me? I let myself examine her like I did when we first met and like I've been consciously abstaining from, looking her over like it doesn't matter if she catches me anymore. She doesn't though. I may as well be invisible to her right now while she studies the mountaintops. And I want her to pay attention to me. She's wearing her usual boutique brand clothes. The cute frittiness is just as perfect as ever for Marina, but they clash with the clunkiness of the ugly brown boots.
You sure you want to wear that? They might just get in the way.
She gasps, almost offended by the suggestion that she wear anything else.
But my skirt is so comfy. Aren't you supposed to wear comfy clothes on hikes?
Yeah, but I don't think you should go hiking with a skirt on.
Besides, with a name like Angel's Landing, it has to be pretty relaxing.
She gives me a big, honest smile, tipping her hat to the hills. It's the first real smile I've seen from her all day.
So, what are we waiting for? Let's go.
I melt, letting her skewed reasoning fall to the wayside just this once. Warm fuzzies and a goofy grin take over my dour mood, just for a moment.
Alright, but no whining if they end up being a problem.
Slinging the backpack over my shoulder, we head for the shuttle that leads to the trail. Logs and a stone fire pit adorn the side of each lot that we pass. Maybe when we get back we go to the camp store and pick up some supplies to roast marshmallows. I think she'd like that. Might be called Angel's Landing because it's hazardous and people falling from the sky like angels. Oh god, I hope not. Marina's heavy breathing guides me as we slog our way uphill, the previous light mist having now morphed into a thick and dreary fog. I cling to the chained railing as I stumble my way up to the trail of rocks. It's the only protection from the sheer drop-off beside us. All it would take is one slip for me to take a nosedive into the valley below, and I wouldn't even see it coming. Turns out the fluffy and enticing name Angel's Landing doesn't come with the relaxing stroll Marina was hoping for. This feels more like a ghastly death march. My sweat-drenched legs feel like putting under the anchor that is a measly 5-pound backpack. No one else on the shuttle even bothered to attempt to hike alongside us. I attempt to form words between pained breaths, feeling like a rock is being smashed into my lungs with each step.
We should turn back. Can't see Jack. It's not safe up here.
Well, if it's not safe, they would have probably closed it though, no?
What?
She sounds like she's doing about as well as me, echoing the same lung-puncturing gasps.
But we're so close. There's no way we're not almost there.
We stop, collapsing against our knees as we try to catch our breath.
Not gonna mean a lot if we end up falling off a cliff.
I thought...
I've actually wanted to go hiking with my best friend for years now. And for some reason we never get around to doing it. It's like the one thing where we keep catching ourselves where it's like, yes, this is what old people would do. But also, we should try it sometime. We have a car to get to places where we could hike. We should finally do it. And we have not been able to do it for the past 5 years, ever since we made the plan initially, I think.
You were the one who wanted to do this so bad.
Every couple words are punctuated by her gasping for breath.
Yeah, but...
Amber, please, let's keep going.
Her voice is a whimper, fragile and meek. I fold.
Okay.
Marina has a way of making me shut up when she wants to, whether she knows it or not. Today it doesn't make a difference. I'm not going to be the one who makes things worse. She's wrong about one thing though. I wasn't the one who wanted to hike up here. Gramps was. It gets easier after our break. The trail begins to plateau and the steepness evens out, fading behind us until the return trip.
Ooh, I think we're already here. See? What did I tell you?
The mistake most people make about hiking is thinking that they're almost there when they're about to reach the top. In reality, that's the halfway point. You still gotta get down. Yeah. Marina darts ahead, disappearing into the fog so she can look at the mythical view that the brochure and I have preached to her and Gramps to me. But if my suspicions are right, this weather and the view aren't going to be very compatible. Following behind, I step out of the cloudy murk and into an area that offers only slightly more visibility. Marina stands still on the sand of the cliff, her hand clutched to her heart. What should have been a bird's eye view of Zion is nothing but a sea of fog. The lush greenery and full valleys are invisible. Only a few overgrown bushes and some rocky points peek out above the clouds. I was expecting it, but the sight itself is really numbing. Really is numbing. The hollowness in my stomach, the one I've gotten so used to feeling, rears its head once again, only intensified by Marina's silence, any expression shrouded by her bangs as she tilts her head down.
Sorry.
Aww. Gently she shakes her head.
Don't worry about it. It's not your fault. You tried to warn me.
Marina.
I think the best thing you can do when you go hiking is you gotta start really early. Like, okay, you don't need to start at like 5 a.m, but you gotta start early. So you arrive up there by 10, 11 maybe? 11 is a good time. And then you take your time and go sit down somewhere, have a break, eat the food that you have taken with you. Like really relax for at least an hour. Maybe more. And then you can do anything else. Then you can start looking around and you can start going back down if you want, but you really need to take that break once you're up there. Because your body will be like, okay, stop. And you don't want to have to stop in the middle of your way back down. That's a horrible place to stop. I don't know what to say. I'm disappointed too. There were a lot of places Gramps always talked about visiting. After we settle down and came back for a few years. After I finish repaying the RV. After I get better. This place came up more than the others though. Not just Zion, but the landing. Kept saying we were going to hike up here, have a picnic, maybe watch the sun come up. A slight smile comes to my face as I think about him trying to make that hike. I'd have liked to see the Giza try. While I'm not a big enough sap to try and make all of my and Gramps' plans happen now, it would have been nice to see the view. With Gramps, Marina, and everything that's happened over the past month, it just seemed fitting to make the trip. Angel's Landing. I glanced back to Marina, the hand that was clutched to her chest now stretched outwards, grasping at the empty air. A slight breeze blows through, ruffling her hair. She looks beautiful. She looks angelic. I didn't go to church much as a kid, but she looks like someone I'd see in a stained glass window, right next to a rendition of Cavalry or Skull Hill. It's frustrating to have come this far for nothing. But is it because of the fog? Because of Gramps? Or because of Marina? My teeth grit, grinding against each other under what feels like an unimaginable weight.
Come on, let's go.
I turn around and begin down the slope. There's nothing else worth seeing up here. Marina doesn't follow. No spirited footsteps trailing behind me. No speeding bullet blazing ahead.
Marina, we're going.
It comes out with more bite than I intended, but I don't care. I just want to get out of here now. Marina's hesitant to answer, but eventually manages to spit it out, sounding more like a question than an actual statement.
I don't want to.
Oh.
What?
I don't want to leave. Not yet, anyway.
Annoyed, I turn back to her for an explanation, only to be greeted by a pleading look instead.
I'm used to it by now. I know I am. But do you think we could wait a little longer? Just to see if the fog clears?
I don't know what it is. I respond with a blank stare. It's like she's not even talking to me.
Don't be stupid.
I start back down the hill, not bothering to wait for Marina this time.
It's past noon. If it hasn't cleared by now, then it's not going to anytime soon.
So much for not making things worse. Ooh, but it's nice to look at the stars, no? That's also nice. Aww. I nudge the fire with a stick. It doesn't do any good though, as the logs just tumble on top of each other, smothering the already pitiful flame. For a moment our lot is only lit by the few remaining embers in the pit. Sighing, I grab the bottle of lighter fluid and squirt it onto the ashes. An artificial flame roars into existence, then peters to the size of a pathetic candle flickered just as quickly. I plunge the stick back into the fire and scrape cinders from the glowing wood. Eventually a flame catches on a charred log and grows until the pit is blazing once again.
Ha! About damn time.
The joy is exclusive to me, however, as Marina stays silent, staring into the fire.
Want another s'more?
She bounces back to life.
Oh my god, yes, please.
She catches herself and switches back to broodiness.
I mean, sure, I guess.
Ayo! I roll my eyes, but can't help smiling on the inside. No matter how hard she tries, she's still the same Marina she's always been. I grab a marshmallow and stick it on the end of a bent coat hanger before handing it to her. Without another word, she plops it into the fire. Wait, if you're using a coat hanger and holding it above a flame, won't the entire thing heat up? Hold on. Oh wait, no, Is there no way for me to look at only the picture? Oh, there's actually a thing where you can see how far along the road we are. We're only halfway done. I see. Okay, I cannot look at only the picture, I guess. Meanwhile, my eyes are drawn to the neglected bag of hot dogs lying behind the chocolate and graham crackers, unopened and ignored. I bought them because I thought Marina would like the variety, but I should have known that she would only go after the marshmallows. She's been devouring them. She opened the bag when we left the store, and it was half empty by the time we got back to the campsite. She clung to the bag like a security blanket the whole way. It's a miracle there are even any left. Unless there's a plastic grip on a coat hanger, but then that might melt after a while, right? I'm sorry, out of all things you could have taken, maybe a coat hanger is not the best idea. Shrugging, I take one of the hot dogs out of the bag and impale it on my coat hanger, and then put it into the fire next to Marina's. Even when we're this close to each other, there's still an air of tension. The one that's pervaded since we left Arches. Neither of us have addressed it, but the inevitability of the treasure, the thick uneasiness that hangs over us, it's suppressed, but it's definitely there. But it's gotten better since we left Angel's Landing. The snacks were a peace offering of sorts, I guess. although I was pleasantly surprised that she sat so close to me, even with the 3 other logs around the fire pit. Thank you for the pat. I tried, okay? I tried. I fixed my gaze on the... Thank you! I fixed my gaze on the flames. The dog is slimy, oozing with condensation that drips and sizzles in the ashes.
Oh god, it's on fire! It's on fire! Fire!
Marina's coat hanger whooshes over me like a spastic comet, the marshmallow now a smoldering ball of inferno. Thank you for the pat.
Here, give it to me.
One more for the sake of it.
It's on fire, Amber! Fire!
I can see that. Just give it.
She panics, squirming as her precious marshmallow burns before her very eyes.
Just don't hurt yourself, please.
Frantically, she passes me the wire, biting her nails as I try to blow it out. Soon the fire clears. The marshmallow, once white and fluffy, is now black and charred. Thank you for the kerosene.
Aw, now it's
Marshmallow
ruined.
fire crisis, for real. I've never had a marshmallow. Thank you for the fact. I've never had a marshmallow actually catch on fire.
It's no big deal. You can still eat it.
Preparing the s'more. How do you actually say it? S'more? I break apart the chocolate and cracker, then squish the marshmallow between them.
Ew, gross. But it's all black and stuff.
Hey, don't knock it till you try it. Honestly, I think I might prefer it burned.
I like them a little burned, I
That's
think.
so... ew.
She gives a nervous laugh.
Here, just try it.
Marina stares at the s'more and gulps.
Fine, but only because you asked.
S'more. Okay. Fine. Closing her eyes, she opens her mouth wide. Wide open. This time it's my turn to gulp. I shuffle back. Subtly trying to avoid eye contact and once again failing, I pop the s'more into her mouth and let out a restful sigh. Had one set on fire before they stopped tasting good. You sure love you some cancer. Wait, what? Why? You love them burned and you really want s'mores again. You love cooking hot dogs over a campfire as well. I feel like everything that you can possibly cook over a campfire will just taste better that way. Because of the entire experience of sitting near a campfire already. I haven't had one in a long time though. Completely burnt food isn't exactly healthy. I don't think one s'more is gonna be that bad though. Like bubblegum, she munches on it in the corner of her mouth, intently trying to dissect the flavor in her own cute way.
So...
Her eyes grow wide in shock.
It's good.
Ooh, it's good.
right? Doesn't it give it a nice smoky flavor?
It's a little bitter at first, but the marshmallow gets really crunchy.
Nice.
So good.
So
I
good.
told you so. You just gotta give these things a shot.
I can't believe I had my first s'more and found a way to make it better in the same day.
Oh, your first time?
I feel like that would take most people like a bajillion years to figure out.
I don't think that's a real number.
But it only took me one night because I got you, Amber.
Ah. Gobsmacked. Dumbfounded. They're both stupid fancy words, but I think they work when trying to figure out this thing sitting beside me.
Amber?
You're kidding me.
What?
Your first s'more?
What would be fine, but burnt food has been linked to an increased risk of ovarian, kidney, and endometrial cancer due to its increased levels of acrylamide. Acrylamide? Okay, damn. Well, I'm usually more the type to not fully finish cooking my food. Like, I'm not at risk of it being burned, but at risk of it not being fully finished. Like, you know, when you heat up stuff that's been frozen and it's gonna be like not completely finished, and I will eat it because it's like it's already taken such a long time. I should be good on the time it has been in the oven. I'm just gonna eat it. That's me.
Well, I've seen people eat them on TV and stuff before, but
You have never ever had a s'more in your entire life.
now that
Why
I
are they
think
called
about
s'mores
it,
though?
I guess I haven't.
That confirms it.
Huh? Confirms what?
You're an alien. The government has just been keeping you hidden all this time. That's why I met you near Roswell. It's the only explanation.
I am not. If I were an alien, then why do I look human?
There's lots of media that portrays aliens as humanoid looking.
That's just a flesh suit.
Oh.
A disguise so you can blend in.
That's mean. You can't just buy these good looks at the costume store.
She's right.
What's your sector ID? Is this your first time away from your home planet?
Amber, stop. It's not my fault.
Her face puffs out and I have to resist the urge to poke and deflate it. If I don't quit, she may actually start pouting.
I'm sorry, I'll stop.
I'm tempted to squeeze one more joke out, but decide against it as I try to hold back the snicker under my breath.
I think I like you better when you're serious.
She has the opportunity to use a good pickup line here. Tell you that you're out for this world! She crosses her arms, turning away. She closes both eyes to block me out. Then with a grin, one eye open. We both burst out laughing. Since the hike, the fog has climbed down the hill, enveloping the campground. Even here it's carved out a small pocket, the breezy chill surrounding us as we take in the warm glow of the fire. It feels nice.
But for real, I still can't believe this is your first time leaving home.
Oh, so they're finally talking. That's good. She settles down a bit and places her hands on her lap, teetering side to side as she looks to the sky, even though there's nothing to look at but mist.
Yeah, sometimes I have trouble believing it too. Since there's so many of us, I guess Mom and Dad could never afford to take us anywhere.
You can't say marshmallows or s'mores. Just taste it smells wrong to me. I think I can eat like 2 marshmallows. And that's it, actually. There's just too much texture on one. The taste is okay, but the texture is just too much. I don't know. Which is sad because it's like one of those things which feel like I would really, really like them, right? They're fluffy, they're squishy, they're sweet. But I can't stand them that much either. That's what I thought. If a family is as big as she says, it's not like they could have just packed up and traveled like me and Grams.
You said you have 9 brothers and sisters, right?
Yep, there's 9 of us, plus Mom and Dad, so 11 altogether.
So an entire football team. Ripped you in and oh no.
Jesus.
Right? Everyone says our house is pretty big, but it's always been so cramped that I've never been able to tell. I've never even had my own room. I've always had to share one with some of my sisters. My older brother shared too, until one of them went off to college.
Is that the same brother whose car got torn apart by Mariah?
She laughs guiltily.
Yeah, he always
Aww.
called it his love wagon.
If that thing was a love wagon, then my motorhome is a love palace.
Ooh, that's a good name for it.
Wanna make love in the palace? I mean, what?
Don't even start.
Anyway, he said he wanted to get a new one when he got to Salt Lake City, so I don't think he'll be too angry.
Hold on, that's in Utah too. Why didn't you tell me? The detour would have been a pain in the ass. But if you wanted to visit him, I wouldn't have minded the extra miles. Not if it was for you.
Hey. Marina does a double take and I realize I've given too much away.
You'd have to pay for gas though.
Considering the genre only a matter of time. Marina blinks, then smiles, cries as averted.
Nah, it's okay. I want to do this without my family's help. Besides, it's only a community college.
I don't know what the difference between different colleges would be.
Your brother moved from New Mexico to Utah so he could attend a community college?
Well, he wanted to get away from home, probably.
He sends me a gift every month. Last month, it was a top hat. I put it right on top of the desk in my room.
She pauses for a moment.
Mine and my sister's room, I mean.
Your family sounds about as weird as you.
Community is cheaper.
Really?
Oh, right. College costs money.
Yeah, I guess we are.
She beams, wearing the title of weird like a badge of honor.
That's not a good thing. Actually, maybe it is.
I like it. Besides, Dad keeps us all in line.
A defense
He's a
lawyer.
Defense lawyer, super straight-laced.
A defense lawyer who has 9 children? Damn.
You remind me of him, actually. He likes everything nice and orderly, which is bad for him because he's surrounded by us, but...
She talks for a long time, chattering and laughing about her family, the smile never leaving her face. I almost get lost in it. I almost want to. For the precious minutes that she speaks, I forget the tension that shadowed us since Arches, and I could believe it was never there. I love that about Marina. Even when we're wet with rain or humoring truck drivers or racing a lunatic down the highway, she never hesitates to smile. For her, it's always poised on a brim, waiting to shine through. I could listen all night, but she trails off only a short time later.
I'm sorry. This must be boring, right?
Can you carry over to every state that? Oh, okay.
Nah, I can tell you love him a lot. It was always just me and Gramps. So it's sorta interesting to see how other families work.
The lot falls silent, save for the crackling flames. I brace myself for what I know is coming.
Hey, Amber? What happened to your mom and dad?
They are dead! I stare into the fire. It pops, casting up delicate embers that fall and vanish in the dirt.
I'm sorry. That was too personal.
No, it's fine. They're both around, I think.
Oh,
Only met Dad once a long time
they're
ago.
not dead.
Me and Ma don't get along very well. Haven't spoken to her since I was 16.
Eh?
Last I heard, she was living in some trailer park in Ohio.
Is that why you lived with your grandpa?
Sorta. Ma always had her issues. So the court said Gramps could take care of me when I was a baby.
Issues. I stifle a laugh. Stifle? Stifle. Stifle?
Not that it did any good.
Stifle.
The geezer had the bright idea to haul me around the Midwest and East Coast for half my life.
Hello, TK, good evening. Stifle. Damn it.
Took care of you all by himself? He must have been amazing.
Try again. He was an old hippie who was stuck in the 70s and spent most of his time listening to weird music.
Sounds just like you.
Hey, watch it. If anything, he was more like you. I was always cleaning up his messes, even as a little girl, even near the...
I choked down a growing lump in my throat.
Even near the end.
Oh no.
Amber,
It was always just the two of us, though. Us, or any random old friend he wanted to see. Even when he decided to settle down in Colorado, it was just us. People would come and go, but it was always us. And I was there for all of it. I was there for every single appointment. I was there at the hospital, and I was there at the funeral. Ma didn't even bother to come to that, but I was there. And he was always there too.
you really miss him, huh?
My voice lowers to a whisper, raspy and dry.
Yeah.
Aww. Something slumps against my shoulder. Glancing down, I discover Marina's head resting against me.
What are you doing?
Nothing.
She looks up at me.
Want me to stop?
Nah, keep doing it.
Okay.
We should turn in soon. We have a big day ahead of us.
It's good that you finally talk because I don't understand where the tension came from.
Maybe.
We sit in silence for a little while, or maybe it's a long time. I can tell. It's a nice silence though, a comfortable one. Finally. The engine dies. I can still hear the power buzzing before it surges down, leaving us with the ambience of the settling motorhome.
We're here.
Oh god, okay, it was on purpose. I thought like, God, the car breaks down in the middle of the road, the engine dies. Fuck.
Not a lot of cars here, huh?
Guess the rest of the world just hasn't caught up yet.
That won't last for long. Any day now, people will figure out it's here and an army of would-be treasure hunters will be swarming this place, drooling at the chance to find gold. The last of the gold. There's a fluttering in my chest and I tighten my grip on the wheel. It's the end of our adventure.
I bet our names have spread across the land and struck fear into the hearts of our rivals, giving them no other choice but to call it quits.
Yeah. Or maybe someone already came through and found the treasure.
Shh, don't say that.
Don't say something scary like that.
Still wrapped around the rail, my clammy hand starts shaking. Marina takes notice, looking over with sympathetic eyes.
Hey.
She takes her hand and gently places it on top of mine, giving it a reassuring squeeze. I let both fall into my lap. She's warm.
We're doing this together, okay?
Yeah. The flutters tickle the inside of my chest until I can't help smiling.
Right. Let's do it.
Regretfully, I force out a nod and pull out my hand out from Marina's. It feels wrong, like throwing away a precious gift. Reaching into the console, I retrieve the journal for what may be the last time. It's well loved, a bent spine, wrinkled pages, and folded corners on the flimsy page cover. Looking back, it's been getting roughed up since the moment you got it. Ever since that weird station attendant let Marina have it for free way back at the Traveler's store. Hard to believe this cheap thing was the roadmap to something so valuable. Taking a deep breath, I skim over the final entry. After several days of travel, I believe I finally arrived at my first destination. It is well known I have an astute eye for locations. After all this, I found my precious... Wait, no, we read this before.
Windstone Arch.
It's probably the vaguest entry so far, but I can feel it. It has to be there. I slapped the journal shut and lay it to rest in the center console right next to all the cassette tapes. Marina and I look at each other, now sharing the same piercing determination.
Alright, let's get this show on the road.
Alright. Let's go, baby! Because of the lack of crowds, getting around is a lot easier than usual, allowing us to take in the scenery for once instead of slogging through zombified hordes. Even though there's not many people around, it somehow feels fuller here. Everywhere we walk, we're surrounded by layered dunes and sandstones, towering over us, striped with faded reds and calico browns. Somehow we do eventually manage to find the Windstone Arch. Unlike the arches back in Utah, it isn't big and majestic. It's not a giant upside down horseshoe that lords over us as we look on in awe. It's not even an arch as much as it's a cave, really. Just a jagged, overgrown rock with a few crevices big enough for a person to enter. Still, despite this, despite the fact that it doesn't compare to the size or grandeur of everything else we've seen together so far, and despite that it hardly took us any time at all to find it, it's still imposing. The longer I stare at it, the bigger it gets, like it's judging us. It isn't calling into question our abilities or even if we can find it. It's gauging us to see if we're ready. Are we? I look over to Marina. A small bulge forms in her throat before she swallows it back down. Is she? I return my gaze to the arch, asking the same questions over and over in my head. Am I? Finally, we look at each other. Marina readies the metal detector strapped to her back and gives me a nod, which I return. Even if we aren't ready, even if this is the worst mistake of my life, this is something both of us have to do. Our steps in sync, we march over the rocks and desert shrubs before crouching into the cavern. Sunlight squeezes into the cave, dyeing the rock columns neon red. Marina begins scanning with the metal detector, listening intently for a beep. The narrow space forces us to huddle together as we heave our way through the arch, repeatedly brushing against each other. At first it's accidental, but I find myself craving it more. To get closer, to feel her, to watch as her hair absorbs the brilliant glow of the cave. I'm deprived of all of that though, as her metal detector vibrates in her hand, making a low rumble. She takes off the headphones and points to the wall. I avert my gaze and move past her, taking a knee as I slip the back of my shoulder and pull out a mandrel pickaxe. Careful not to hit her, I start chiseling away at the rock. Soon, the crack in the wall grows and small pebbles and gravel start flying off. I reposition myself and block Marina from getting hit by any of it. The small portion of the wall crumbles away and after a few more strikes reveals a hollow space, just big enough to squeeze your hand into. This is gonna suck if some creepy thing's gone and made its home in there. Shuddering, I reach into the space and feel something square and wooden. With some budging, it comes free and easily slides out. A box. Its familiarity is expected, but it doesn't stop my heart from leaping any less, nor Marina's, who squeaks out a gasp.
Ready?
This time she barely nods, unsure of what to say, but like ripping off a bandage, I swing the lid open before she can give any real answer. Nuggets. A pile of them, filled from top to bottom, all misshapen and morphed. The sight isn't anything new, but this time it feels different. It's like for the first time the reality has finally sunk in and everything up until now has been a haze. We both just stare at it. An entire universe of thoughts race through my mind, yet it all comes up blank.
What now?
It's directed more towards myself than Marina, but it's the first thing I manage to spit out and ultimately the most important. Marina doesn't answer at first, instead just tilting her head, trying to process the question, but finally she gives a simple smile.
I saw a sign for a trail on the way over here. Why don't we go hiking?
Hiking. I freeze for a second and laugh under my breath. The more I think about the simplicity behind her words, the more I laugh, until I bore in sounding like a hysterical madman.
Hiking? For real?
I keep laughing, struggling to keep it together, even after I start having trouble breathing. Poor Marina isn't in on the joke though, and within a matter of seconds her face goes from confusion to concern, then pouting.
I don't know why you're laughing. I was being serious, you know?
Settling down, I wipe a fake tear from my eye, an occasional chuckle still managing to break through.
No, I know you were.
Then what's so funny?
Nothing, just...
I finally regain complete composure and smile at her.
Yeah, sure. Let's go hiking. That sounds nice. Can you please keep to the signs?
I will. Stop being such a worrywart.
Oh no. Marina skips through the sand, gleefully oblivious that her trail is a badly marked patch of dirt over the plains of the I don't know how to say that.
That's what you said last time. If you're not careful, we're gonna get lost. Again.
Oh no.
Aw, you didn't like those old cabins we found?
It gets old after the second time, Mare.
It kills daylight too. The sun has faded to orange and will soon sink out of view. There's no way we're getting back before dark. But hey, maybe that's not such a bad thing. We've already found the treasure, so spending more time with Marina is a nice reward.
So, about this fire wave thing. And yes, I know it's not an ocean of lava, smarty pants.
Damn, I must be running out of material.
I mean, it's so cool. Well, hot, I guess. But what is it?
What's the fire wave? It's a, windy thing that winds around rocks and stuff and looks like fire. At least, I think that's what it was.
Oh?
A devilish grin slings onto Marina's face and she attaches herself to me like Velcro, nudging my shoulders.
You don't know what it is either, do you?
What? Do so.
Her grin grows until I force myself to look away. She's not gonna get the satisfaction.
I've seen pictures.
Oh, you've seen pictures? What sort of pictures?
You know, the picture-y kind.
The picture-y kind. I can just feel her reveling in this. For the first time, she's got me playing right into her hands.
Oh, shut up.
I feel a slap against my wrist, then a tug. Looking down, I see Marina's bright dimples shining through her round cheeks.
Why don't we find out together?
I'm stunned. It's a position we've been in before, but it's supposed to be the other way round. I'm always pulling her. That's my job. But now it's her smooth fingers locked around my wrist, her fingernails grazing above my skin. The realization doesn't even have time to sink in before she propels herself forward with me in tow.
Hey, wait! Hold on!
I kick up sand and grit as I'm practically dragged along by Marina, who meets my yelps with silence. Then she holds as quickly as she took off, leaving me to shoot forward and stumble to a stop.
You could have at least warned me before ya...
I go silent. Marina does too. The fire wave. Swirling ribbons of red wrap around the hillside and stretch out to the horizon. The setting sun casts light and shadow across the ground and sky, shading it all with intense golds, pinks and purples. As the sky dims, a shred of stray light passes over the shade and shines directly on us. Directly on Marina. She stares on, silent. I can feel every glint of emotion coming from her. Every breath taken away. Every raw feeling that builds up inside her, only to be choked back down. All of it. I glance between her and the scene stretched out before us. The pockets of sky with their deep, vivid colors are beautiful, but the choice is easy. I fixate on Marina. Her clear, sweet blue eyes, her cute, round cheeks, her lips as they quiver ever so slightly. Laying a hand on her shoulder, I turn her towards me and softly touch her cheek. Her mouth slips open with a faint gasp, but all it takes is a gentle stroke of her face for that uncertainty to be wiped away. Marina holds my gaze. My eyes relax and I step closer, so I can feel the warmth of her body against mine. Then I lean in and press my lips to hers. Yes! So soft. I keep myself pressed against her, letting my lips move with the natural flow. But she doesn't press back. Afraid, I pull away, but before I can step back, she pulls me closer and lets her lips melt into mine. I let the pattern take control. Our mouths move inside each other, full of tender caution as we ease in. We repeat the process infinitely. Bathed in the light of sunset, the two of us exchange something. I eventually pull back, unsure of what to say and scared of what I could. We turn back to find the last rays of sunlight slipping behind the sand. Something brushes against my hand, tickling for a moment before intertwining between my fingers. It happened, boys! Her grip is loose, but I wrap my fingers around so that I'm holding her firmly. We watch the last of the light drift into a peaceful evening. Together.
It's pretty.
Yeah.
It is. It is pretty. Pretty gay? I mean, what? Oh god, why? What have I done? Her back is turned to me like mine is to hers. I claw my nails deep into the scratchy couch fabric and stick my gaze to the floor. On the floor. Please end me now. It was silent after we did that. Nice silence. A blissful release of silence. But as we walked back, terror started to sink in. I think she felt it too. I listened to the buzz of the generator and stared at a patch of artificial light on the wall. Stupid little box is making fun of me, I swear.
So what now?
Funny, that's the same thing I asked when we found the treasure, except she sounds even more hopeless and confused than I did. Bringing my legs to my chest, I bundled my arms around them and put on a nervous smirk.
We could always go hiking again.
She throws a mock slap at my shoulder, feigning a huffy voice.
You would like that, wouldn't you?
The heavy embarrassment in the air melts away into something a little more comfortable as we both manage to laugh at my perviness. Marina lets out a whiny cry and slides against the couch.
But seriously, what are we gonna do?
What is you guys' problem?
About what?
About everything. The treasure, home, us.
My heart tightens like she's squeezing it.
Did you not?
No, I did. I do. I just don't know.
She turns to me, her eyes pleading, like she's looking for answers. There's no doubt I'm responsible for those eyes. Feeling a fierce sense of responsibility, I shoot up and march to the center console.
Amber?
Hold on.
I open the console, but I don't bother digging around. I know exactly where these are. 2 irreplaceable pieces of paper. Stopping in front of the couch, my voice darkens.
I'll be using my half of the treasure to pay for Gramps' hospital and funeral expenses. But before I do that, I still need to go to the music festival.
I offer her one of the tickets. Unsure, she gently tucks it from my hand and begins reading.
If you want to, you can go with me. Might give you a little extra time to think about things.
Oh-ho! My voice softens.
About everything.
The festival?
Up to you, babe.
Babe! I flop back on the couch and hold the ticket over my eyes to block out the light.
Oh?
Oh crap. She peels the ticket off halfway and peeks through, revealing an amused grin.
So I'm babe now, huh?
Ooh! On her hands and knees, Marina crawls ever so closer while I scramble to turn and hide my face.
Shut up. It was an accident.
And now I'm back to where I started, mortified and embarrassed.
Amber.
Her voice is like a melody.
Shut up.
Amber.
I said shut up.
Oh, Amber.
What?
A tank engine plows into my back, followed by soft, gentle arms wrapping around my neck as she rests her head against mine.
Thank you.
My shoulders relax, embracing her. In turn, I rest my head on hers too, a head sandwich.
Sure thing, kiddo.
Once we're quiet, the awkwardness sets in again, where I don't know if I should be saying something to fill the silence or if I should leave it be. Is she thinking the same thing? Is she also worried? I sneak glance after worried glance down, but I can't see her face. Her hands wander around like she doesn't know what to do. She touches her face, then she scratches her leg, picks at a fold in her shirt, pops her knuckles. Oh, pops her knuckles! There's not... I don't know. There's no sun coming out today. So she is nervous. Hey. The top of her head bumps my chin as she flinches.
Hey.
You good?
Yeah.
You don't seem good.
No, I am. Sorry, I'm just...
Rather than hurry along like I sometimes do, I wait for her to find the words.
Just worried, I guess.
Aw.
I know you have, but I've never had a girlfriend before.
I start to say something, but she hurriedly cuts me off.
I don't mean it like that. Well, I do, but I've also never had a boyfriend before.
You could just say you never
Not
dated
real
anyone
one,
before,
anyway.
it's fine.
You had a fake boyfriend, though?
Barely. Like, in middle school, there was
Just
this
gonna
guy
love the
who
knuckles
asked
to
if I'd be his girlfriend, and
aerate or
I
something.
said okay. But then the next day, he said his mom told him he wasn't allowed to have a girlfriend, so we broke up.
Sounds brutal.
Right? And then junior year of high school, I kind of dated this guy for like a month. but I didn't really like him. My friends just wanted me to.
That's screwed up.
I don't know, not really. They weren't trying
He
to
was
be mean
just
or anything,
boring.
and he wasn't a bad person. He
Bubble
was
wrap.
just... Like, for our first date, we went to dinner and a movie. But dinner was just fast
Comp
food,
had
and he
alert
spilled
for real,
ketchup all
though.
over himself.
For real. Hate that. I mean, it's a mood, but...
And I don't even remember what movie we saw. He put his arm around the back of my chair, and I thought he was trying to put his arm around me,
Oh.
so I kind of got closer, but nope. He just kept it there, like he was just stretching.
Oh. She giggles at the memory.
Honestly, I'd forgotten about all that until now. That's how not a real boyfriend he was. What about you?
I'm glad that right now things seem normal. Maybe she's talking, she forgets about being worried.
Well, I've never had a boyfriend.
Marina punches me in the shoulder.
You know what I meant. I could have guessed that much.
Hey now, I'm just being clear. But yeah, I've had other girlfriends.
Isn't it bad manners to talk about this, especially early in a relationship? Well, are you in a relationship? You kiss, but neither of you said, hey, would you like to date? Are we dating? Are we dating? I don't know. She asked though.
They counted, though it wasn't really anything serious either. By the time I was old enough for a serious relationship, I was too busy with taking care of Gramps to focus on one. But at least no one's mom ever told them they would break up with me.
Listen, it was hard when I was 12. For like a day or two.
I'll bet. Anyway, yeah, there was this girl I was with through a chunk of high school. We broke up in junior year, I think. She wanted to focus on school.
Fair.
She ended up getting a full ride to a nice college, so I guess she made the right call.
Marina doesn't miss a beat.
Nah, it was her loss.
Aww. I shift him to free my arm that's pressed against Marina's side and instead wrap it around her. At first I can feel her tense up, but then she gradually relaxes until gradually relaxes until most of her weight rests on me.
So, Amber?
She doesn't answer.
Mare?
Sorry, never mind.
A full ride! She looks up and smiles at me and I smile back. Maybe it's better not to think too much right now or ask too many questions. It's just the two of us being happy with each other, not minding that we're both sweaty and kind of gross right now or that we haven't eaten in hours. Oh, so I think. It isn't long before she yawns and looks up at me apologetically. No! No! Marina!
It's okay. I'm kind of tired too.
Stop! I'm not. I'm too excited still, but I don't want her to feel bad about going to bed. Plus, we did a lot of hiking today. I unwind my arm from around her and switch with which hand holds her so that we can stand up. I want weakness other than candy. She's fidgety again, shifting her weight from foot to foot. Well, I guess it'll take some getting used to for both of us. Took them long enough for another one. Yeah. I let go of her hand. It falls limply back to her side like she lost control of it. Looking me in the eye, I can tell she's waiting for me to do or say something. I take a step towards her, closing the short distance between us.
Well, good night.
Stop! It's okay. I'll draw a new yawn emote. I'll draw one. And then I lean in and kiss her again. Briefly, enough that she doesn't even really have time to react before I pull away. Thank you for the pat. She blinks twice and rubs her lips and smiles.
Good night.
Good night. She walks backwards away from me, still smiling, and I'm grinning like an idiot too, of course. I'm tempted, so tempted to invite her to sleep at my bed just to be close to her still. But I don't, since she's still so nervous and unsure, and I don't want to make that harder for her. I lick my lips as I go to turn off the lights, still tasting the sweetness of her on them. As I climb into bed, listening for the sounds of her breathing, I don't expect to get much sleep of my own tonight. Why am I in the menu again? Won't have to read if it's an emote. I know. But every time I will see it, I will be like, oh, it's a new yawn, and then I have yawn in my head, and then I have to yawn. Like just now. Ah! Yawn apocalypse. Yeah. But actually, because this is a very good place, that the game has stopped that now. It's like, oh, day is over, we sleep, there's a nice little intermission thingy. That's a very good place for me to save and go back to the title. Yes. It's the end times, end of day times, that is. Yes. That is exactly it. Alrighty. But this is where we're gonna stop for tonight because it is Sunday and it's almost 10 p.m. my time. Day's over, bullying with yawns, perfect time to stop. No, the bullying with yawns finally worked. I have to go now. Quick plans for next week is finish up this game. We'll probably finish it next week. Like maybe we'll finish it on Wednesday. I honestly can't tell how much is. Wait, hold on. Let's load this up again. I want to see something. We're here. And this is our second stream. We could maybe finish it up on Wednesday, actually. Like, if the rest of it is the same time, we could maybe finish it up on Wednesday. But we definitely finish it next week, for sure. I don't know what game to play after it yet, though. Not sure. I'll see. I have to find one. I mean, it's not like I don't have enough games to choose from. But it's nice. We got a kiss. 2 kisses actually. One of them with the CG and the other just happening just there. That's cool. Thank you for a nice stream. No, thank you for coming. Oh, I can't believe it's Sunday already. Or like almost the end of Sunday. The weekend was way too short once again. Like the weekend is always too short. I hate it. Oh my god. All right. Anyway, what I'm going to read most we get in this version of the game. Oh yeah, right. There is a NSFW patch for this game apparently. I mean, I obviously can't show that on stream. For one, I don't have it, and 2, I can't show that stuff on stream. But it's there. I'm probably going to check it out for myself privately. We can just disappear, right? You didn't know that? Yeah, the developers for this game. I've only played another game from them. The Heart in the Woods, which was also nice. That one was a little more mystical, little paranormal kind of stuff. Was interesting. I liked it. Wait, let me actually see. Where do I have my Steam? Where's Steam? Steam. Where's Heart of the Woods? Oh, Heart of the Woods, not in. Heart of the Woods. Oh, I played that in 2020. I played it before they added achievements to the game, so I don't have achievements for it despite finishing it. I'm like, damn it. More fantasy and supernatural. Yeah, for sure. It was nice though. Took me 4.4 hours to play according to Steam time. Was good. Wait, what other games do they have? Studio Elan. Not Sekai Project. I want to see what other. Why is Studio Elan not listed as its own thing on Steam? Why do I get taken to Sekai Project's page? That's not helpful. Sekai Project has published a bunch of games. I know that Studio Elan has another visual novel in development where a character is very, very much my type. Like I saw her design and was like, oh my god. It's called Please Be Happy. And there's a blonde girl in there with round glasses and green eyes, and I love her design. Please be happy, full game is now. Yeah! They have a demo for it out. Oh, nice. 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 Well, there's Highway Blossoms Remastered, there's Heart of the Woods, there's Lock and Key, a magical girl mystery. Okay, Summer at the Edge of the Universe, and Please Be Happy. And I'm guessing... yeah, Please Be Happy official trailer. It's coming 2022, apparently. So that's good. That's good. It's coming 2022. Nice. Green is your favorite color, and sucker for glasses. Me too. I like their style. I like how they do stuff. Like, I very much enjoyed the Heart of the Woods. It took me, I gotta admit though, Heart of the Woods took me a little getting into. Like, you know how sometimes it's just hard to establish the universe of a game, right? You sit there for half an hour thinking, okay, when's the stuff starting to go down, kind of? Yeah, it's not even slow burn. It just took a little while until the world was established enough for me to go like, okay, the characters are there, this is what they're doing, and here the plot is finally starting to go. It had a really slow start, but it was good. I don't mind if a game has a slow start. I just need to be in the like right headspace for it if it takes some time to build up. Because I had the same problem with Higurashi. When I read the first chapter of Higurashi, it was like, because I already knew a little bit about the story. Well, I knew a lot about the story, but actually reading it for myself for the first time was like, okay, I think I've met all of the characters. Where's the gruesome stuff? Where's the horror stuff? It doesn't start off with the horror stuff, obviously. So that was interesting to get into. But yeah, I don't mind if things start off a little slowly. It just takes a while sometimes. But that's okay. But yeah, we're gonna finish up this game next week. We're gonna play more Disco Elysium, which will probably take a few more times. Like, both of the streams so far were almost 8 hours, and we're only on day 2, so that's gonna take a while still. And more Yakuza. Actually, next week I'll try to do more main story in Yakuza again. But yeah, I wish you all a very, very good night. What we're gonna do now is I'm gonna send you guys over to our favorite pink cat, because I've been baiting time to wait until she's out of her starting soon screen so I can go over there and not raid into the starting soon screen, because I hate doing that. Thank you for the stream. Hope you sleep well. Thank you. You guys as well. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you have a very, very nice rest of the weekend. I'll see you all soon. Here's the raid message. Say hi to our favorite cat girl. You knew it. It's a chunky game. A friend was playing for ages. Higurashi, for sure. But I love them a lot. But yeah, good night everyone. I need to press a few buttons. Here we go. See you all soon. Good night. Bye bye. Bye bye. See you next time.